Chapter 148. Although it is faint, it is indeed the ancestral dragon Chi. As the dragon's soul spoke, its body glowed as it used a secret technique. There is the fluctuation of the seal. The location should be in the north. After a while, the dragon's soul, whose body had turned into light, finally spoke. The north. Qin Yu could not hide his excitement. Although his perception of the dragon Chi was far inferior to that of the dragon's soul. As long as he was close enough, he could use a secret technique to find it. As long as he could find the ancestral dragon Chi, it would be easy to destroy the water fairy's sacred ground. Boom! At this moment, there was a soft cracking sound as the dragon Chi was exhausted and the dragon's soul dissipated. Seeing this, Qin Yu's consciousness returned to his body. Although Qin Yu did not ask about his mother's situation, he was not worried at all. The dragon soul's origin dragon world superpower was the law of time, and it could slow down the flow of time. Although his mother's situation was bad, as long as she was in the origin dragon world, her life would not be in danger. The north. Qin Yu left the ancient cave and flew above the mountain range. He looked at the north and covered the area with his soul power. Demonic Chi? Demonic beast? No. After a while, Qin Yu's expression changed slightly, and he immediately flew into the void. The skeleton ghost king followed him like a shadow, and he could not see it at all. After a few breaths, Qin Yu, who had concealed his aura, flew over the mountain range and appeared in front of a wasteland. At this moment, there was a huge battle happening in the wasteland. However, the two sides were not martial artists but a group of demonic beasts. In other words, two demonic beast tribes. Bloodthirsty demonic wolves, three-eyed demonic apes. There were hundreds of bloodthirsty demonic wolves. Each of them was 20 to 30 feet tall, and their cultivation was at the martial king realm. There were also dozens of bloodthirsty demonic wolves. They were obviously tall, and their cultivation was at the martial king realm. The leader of the wolves was even at the martial honorable realm. Its scarlet eyes were calm, and it was obvious that it had gained intelligence. There were only about 30 of the three-eyed demonic apes. Each of the demonic apes was 70 to 80 feet tall, and their cultivation ranged from the martial king realm to the martial king realm. The three-eyed demon ape, whose fur was faintly white, looked extraordinary and had also reached the martial honorable realm. The third eye between its eyebrows had already opened completely. From time to time, a terrifying beam of light would shoot out from its eyes. Huge craters appeared on the ground, their power astonishing. At this moment, the bloodthirsty demon wolf clan and the three-eyed demon ape clan were engaged in a frenzied battle. Demonic aura surged, killing intent overflowed into the heavens. Flesh and blood splattered in the air. The scene was extremely bloody. From time to time, a bloodthirsty demon wolf would be smashed to pieces by the three-eyed demon ape. However, the attacks of the wolves were bound to leave bloody claw marks on the bodies of the three-eyed demon apes. The wounds were so deep that their bones could be seen. This place could it be? Qin Yu's eyes flickered as he watched the two demon clans killing each other. He seemed to have thought of something. In the territory of the 5 great continents, even in the mountain ranges where terrifying, ferocious beasts were hidden, there were no groups of demonic beasts with martial kings and martial emperors. In that case, there was only one possibility. 10,000 demons see. Thinking of this, Qin Yu flew directly into the sky and looked into the distance. Indeed, the mountain range and plain he was on was just an island. Outside the island was a vast blue sea. Everywhere on the sea, one could vaguely see the shadows of islands. 10,000 demons see, ancestral dragon Chi. Qin Yu's eyes flickered. Since traces of the 9 serenities hell dragon and the heavenly dragon had appeared in the heavenly dragon continent, then there was a high possibility that the ancestral dragon had appeared in this place where 10,000 demons gathered. Human clan. However, Qin Yu's flight was immediately noticed by the bloodthirsty demon wolf clan and the three-eyed demon ape. The two demon clans that were originally killing each other immediately stopped when they felt the aura of the human clan. They looked up into the sky. Kill! Without any hesitation, the bloodthirsty demon wolf clan and the three-eyed demon ape clan rushed into the sky and charged toward Chinyu with murderous intent. The human clan hunted demon beasts, took their demon cores, refined their beast souls, controlled demon beasts as mounts, and used their bones to refine weapons. This made the demon clans in the 10,000 demon sea extremely hostile to the human clan. Once they found a human in the 10,000 demon sea, they would immediately hunt him down. Roar! Chinyu lowered his head slightly. There was a faint dragon roar in his body, and a strong dragon aura spread out. The dragon aura, the bloodthirsty demon wolf clan, and the three-eyed demon ape clan that were originally charging over with murderous intent seemed to be frozen in midair. They looked at Chinyu in shock. Ignoring the two demon clans that were stunned, Chinyu withdrew his aura and immediately flew to the north. Since he knew that this was the 10,000 demon sea, Chinyu naturally had to be careful. He did not want to be surrounded by thousands of demon beasts. Screech! However, after flying for half a day and crossing thousands of islands, a sharp and deafening sound suddenly appeared. Chinyu's expression changed slightly as he tilted his head to take a look. Within the clouds, a group of fiery red eagles flew over at an extremely fast speed like fireballs. Their target was him. In front of the group of fiery eagles, there was an eagle-mouthed man in a fiery red robe. He stared coldly at Chinyu. The transformed demon beast was obviously a martial ancestor realm cultivator. Boom! The eagle-mouthed man opened his mouth, and a fireball that was dozens of feet long was formed. It attacked Chinyu with a force that could burn the sky. 7 true dragon flashes. In the boundary of the 10,000 demon sea, Chinyu did not engage in battle. Instead, he turned into a few streaks of light and fled. Screech! The eagle-mouthed man let out a sharp cry. The sound waves were like sharp needles that pierced Chinyu's ears. The dragon chi trembled, but Chinyu did not slow down at all, as if nothing had happened. Humans are invading. The eagle-mouthed man was stunned. When he saw that Chinyu was about to shake them off, he immediately let out another sharp cry. This time, the roar spread rapidly and mightily. It could be clearly heard on the dozens of islands on the sea. Immediately, powerful auras soared into the sky from the islands. In an instant, groups of demon clansmen were frantically chasing after Chinyu from all directions in the void. In addition to the islands, there were also groups of flying demonic beasts that surrounded Chinyu in the sky. Chinyu had no choice but to stop, as there were demonic beasts chasing after him from all directions. Martial Honorable Realm. A mere martial honorable realm cultivator dares to come to the 10,000 demon sea? You are digging your own grave. Humph! Do you really think the whole continent belongs to you humans? The transformed martial ancestor realm demonic beasts stepped out and stared at Chinyu with murderous intent. It seems like I have to take action. Looking at the situation, Chinyu knew that it would not end peacefully. Wait! As Chinyu and the demonic beasts were about to engage in a battle, a deep voice could be heard all of a sudden. This voice, Chinyu was startled as he found the voice familiar. Whoosh! The surrounding demonic beasts parted to form a path as a bulky figure flew toward him. The mountain black tortoise! When Chinyu saw the silhouette that appeared, he recognized it. No wonder it sounded familiar. It was the mountain black tortoise that he had saved previously. Speaking of which, Chinyu had long forgotten about the mountain black tortoise. After all, he did not purposely save the mountain black tortoise. He had only done it out of convenience. Savior, it's really you. The mountain black tortoise was overjoyed when he saw Chinyu and immediately flew toward Chinyu. Savior? The demonic beasts that were initially filled with murderous intent were stunned after hearing the words of the mountain black tortoise. Could it be that the black tortoise tribe was indebted to this human? Chapter 149. Seeing this, Chinyu calmed down the dragon Qi in the ancient seal of the divine dragon. Xing, do you know this human? The eagle-mouthed man who was the first to chase after Chinyu stood out. The last time I went back to the ancestral land, the elders were trapped by the imperial beast sect. If it wasn't for you, I would have fallen into the hands of the Imperial Beast sect. The mountain black tortoise, called Xianxing, said to the surrounding demons. Even so, he is a human, and he sneaked into our demon sea. He must be up to something. We have to take him down and hand him over to the 5 royal families for trial. A man with emerald green snake eyes was coldly staring at Qinyu. His scarlet snake eyes were moving in and out. With me here, don't even think about touching him. Xianxing stood in front of Qinyu. From the looks of it, he wanted to protect Qinyu. If a human comes to our demon sea, we must kill him. This is the rules set by the 5 royal families. Even if you are the sacred beast of the Xian tortoise clan, you cannot break the rule. A man with 4 arms and an ape-like face said fiercely. The demon sea's killing intent towards a human race was so deep that it could not be dispelled. My Xian turtle clan has always taken revenge for enmity and repaid kindness for kindness, whether it's the demon clan or the human clan. I will bring this person back to my clan. If you want to capture him, bring him to my Xian turtle sea. A mountain black tortoise shadow appeared on Xianxing's body, emitting a strong aura. After speaking, Xianxing ignored the surrounding demons. The black tortoise shadow flashed and left with Qinyu. The surrounding demons looked at each other, but no one stopped Xianxing. In the heyday of the Xian tortoise clan, they were comparable to the royal families. Although they had fallen, they were still one of the major clans in the demon sea. Among the demons present, there was no one who could compare with the Xian tortoise clan. Benefactor, why are you here in the demon sea? This is a forbidden area for the human race. Xianxing brought Qinyu to the surface of the sea. Then, they broke through the water surface and entered an underwater city. This was where the mountain Xian turtle clan lived. My name is Qinyu. You can call me by my name. As for why I came to the innumerable demons sea, it's a long story. However, I want to find something in the innumerable demons sea. In the 10,000 fiends sea, Qinyu did not have to worry about his identity being exposed. Oh, what are you looking for? Maybe I can help. Xianxing said enthusiastically. Do you know where the northernmost part of the 10,000 demon sea is? Qinyu asked. Northernmost? Where are you going? Xianxing turned his head and stared at Qinyu in astonishment. Can't we go there? Seeing this, Qinyu asked. For the human tribe, that is a place that is impossible to enter. That is because the tomb of the 1,000 monster seas king of monsters is there. Xianxing nodded and said, Tomb of the 1,000 goblin king? Qinyu's expression changed slightly. Could it be that the ancestral dragon Qi that Qinyu sensed was related to the 1,000 goblin king? Was the 1,000 goblin king's tribe? Qinyu could not help but ask. 3 heads and 6 arms, heaven-piercing ape god. Xianxing's eyes were filled with admiration when he spoke of the 1,000 goblin king. When the heaven-piercing ape god became the 1,000 goblin king, the innumerable demons sea was at its peak. Even the 5 great sacred lands did not dare to offend the innumerable demons sea. Not the dragon tribe. Qinyu was stunned. He knew that the heaven-piercing ape god was a very powerful demon tribe. However, compared to the 9 serenities hell dragon and the sky dragon, they were not even on the same level. However, the 9 serenities hell dragon had a master, and the sky dragon's soul was sealed by the sovereign emperor. The 9 serenities hell dragon and the sky dragon were probably not born in the Tianwu continent. Can you bring me to the north of the innumerable demons sea? After thinking for a while, Qinyu still felt that he should check it out first. If the ancestral dragon Qi that he was looking for was not in the 1,000 goblin king's tomb, then things would be much easier. I can, but if you want to get close to the 1,000 goblin king's tomb, then it's best not to do so. There are experts from the 5 royal tribes guarding that place all year round. Xianxing warned, as he was worried, that Qinyu would mess around. Are the 5 royal tribes very powerful? Qinyu estimated that he would have to stay in the innumerable demons sea for a while, so he should have some understanding of the situation in the innumerable demons sea. Of course they are powerful. The 5 royal tribes all have the bloodline power of the ancient divine beasts. Xianxing nodded and explained to Qinyu in detail. The 5 royal tribes of the innumerable demons sea were the ice dragon tribe, the Sky Ice Spirit Fox tribe, the Inferno Sky Cheelan tribe, and the Thunder Rock tribe. The Ice Dragon tribe had the bloodline of the ancient dragon tribe, the Ice Dragon. The Sky Ice Spirit Fox tribe inherited the power of the ancient mutated beast, the nine-tailed immortal fox. The Inferno Sky Cheelan tribe was the descendant of the ancient divine beast, the Flame Cheelan. The Thunder Rock tribe was a branch of the ancient ferocious beast, the Golden-Winged Rock. The 5 sacred lands of the human race had been eyeing the innumerable demons sea for countless years. But the reason why they had not destroyed the innumerable demons sea was because of the existence of the 5 royal tribes. Swoosh, swoosh. When Xian Xing brought Qin Yu into the underwater city of the Xian Turtle tribe, powerful auras gathered from all directions. The aura of the human race on you is too obvious. You have to find a way to cover it up. Xian Xing glanced at Qin Yu. Although Qin Yu had completely concealed his aura, the fact that Qin Yu did not have any demonic aura was the most obvious thing to the demons. Xian Xing, why are you with the human race? Among the mountain Xian turtle tribes, shape-shifted experts, an old man who was not tall but had solid muscles walked out. His aura was like the sea, and his eyes were like lightning as he looked at Qin Yu. Father, this is Brother Qin Yu, the benefactor who saved me last time. Xian Xing said to the old man. This old man was the king of the mountain Xian turtle tribe, Xian Beishan. It was you who saved me last time. Please forgive me for offending you just now. Xian Beishan was stunned when he heard Xian Xing's words. His killing intent immediately dissipated and his attitude changed as he invited Qin Yu into the underwater city. Sorry to disturb you. After entering the underwater city, many giant Xian turtles and shape-shifted demon cultivators looked at Qin Yu curiously. In the palace, because Qin Yu had saved Xian Xing, the Xian turtle tribe's experts treated Qin Yu with great hospitality. Xian Xing had the strongest bloodline power in the history of the mountain Xian turtle tribe. In the future, it was very likely that he would become a divine mountain Xian turtle, an existence that could stand shoulder to shoulder with the divine beast Black Tortoise. Qin Yu saving Xian Xing was akin to giving the mountain Xian turtle tribe a new lease on life. Whoosh! While the Xian turtle tribe's experts were treating Qin Yu, a black light appeared in front of Xian Beishan. It was a piece of black jade with bird patterns on it. It was a seal. It's the black bird tribe's sealing black jade. Could it be that something big has happened? Xian Xing and the others saw the black jade in Xian Beishan's hand and went over curiously. Qin Yu did not go over, but after looking at it, his eyes narrowed. After Xian Beishan undid the seal, rays of light shone and formed a screen. On the light screen, an image appeared. This is one of the 5 great sacred lands of the continent, the Water Fairy Sacred Land. When Xian Beishan and the others saw the light screen, they were all dumbfounded and shocked. Chapter 150. The Water Fairy Sacred Ground is being invaded by some powerful force. Even the sacred peak is about to collapse. Could it be that the 5 great sacred grounds of the human race are having an internal conflict? No way. Wasn't there a rumor that the 5 great sacred grounds are about to join forces and encroach on the infinite demon sea? But if it's not an internal conflict, what other force would be able to destroy the Water Fairy Sacred Ground? I'm so happy to see the Water Fairy Sacred Ground in such a miserable state. After the initial shock, there was a heated discussion in the palace. Xian Beishan and the other experts were famous in the infinite demon sea. They naturally knew a lot about the 5 great sacred grounds of the human race. But at this moment, the Water Fairy Sacred Ground that was revealed on the screen was no longer as ethereal as before. Huge and ferocious cracks spread all over the mountain. Countless buildings collapsed. Craters that looked like meteorites could be seen everywhere, along with traces of destruction caused by blazing flames. The entire Water Fairy Peak looked like it was about to collapse. This scene looked as if it had suffered a natural disaster. Qin Yu's eyes flashed. Although this news only reached the infinite demon sea a few days later. But from the looks of the water fairy's sacred ground, it was clearly the scene after he had caused a ruckus in the water fairy's sacred ground. Otherwise, with the foundation of the water fairy's sacred ground, a few days would be enough to restore the water fairy's sacred peak to its original state. It seemed that after his battle, someone had spread the news about the water fairy's sacred ground. The infinite demon sea must have obtained this information through some special channels. Father, what happened in the water fairy's sacred ground? Xianxing could not help but ask. About 8 days ago, someone had a big battle in the water fairy's sacred ground. Even the water fairy's sacred peak almost collapsed. Xianbeixian was shocked after reading the other information from Wu Yu. Someone? Xianxing and the others were stunned when they heard what Xianbeixian said. Was the water fairy's sacred ground not invaded by a powerful force? According to the information from the Black Beast Bird clan, there should be only one person. Xianbeixian nodded. His face was filled with shock and disbelief. One person fought one of the 5 great sacred grounds of the human race. Xianxing and the others were stunned. The 10,000 demons sea was well aware of the strength of the 5 great holy lands. If they were not so strong, they would not have been suppressed by the 5 great sacred grounds. But now the water immortal holy land, one of the 5 great holy lands, it had actually been beaten up by someone with his own strength. And even the Saint Peak, which was its symbol, had almost collapsed. How ferocious was that person? Even a myriad demon king of the myriad demon sea couldn't do that, right? The information from the Black Beast Bird clan has never been wrong. That person seemed to have gone to the water immortal holy land to save someone, but he didn't succeed. Unfortunately, no one in the water immortal holy land has revealed that person's portrait. Otherwise, Xianbeixian's eyes flashed. Otherwise, with the grudge between that person and the water fairy's sacred ground, the 10,000 demons sea could rope him in. At that time, the strength of the 1,000 demons sea would definitely be much stronger. Brother Qinyu, have you heard of this? Who exactly is that expert? He's actually so powerful that he can fight against an entire holy land by himself. Xianxing turned his head and excitedly asked Qinyu. I'm not too sure. Qinyu shook his head slightly and did not admit it. Although the miserable state of the water immortal Saint Peak was indeed caused by him. But Qinyu was very clear that the rumor of him fighting against the entire water immortal holy land by himself was completely exaggerated. In that battle, the true experts of the water immortal holy land did not even come out. Otherwise, it was hard to say whether he would have survived or not. Therefore, other than making the water immortal holy land lose face in the continent, there were no real losses. On the contrary, in the battle against the Qin family, 5 Wusheng were killed by the Jiang siblings, which was probably enough to make the water immortal holy land feel heartache. However, the battle against the Qin family did not seem to have spread. It seemed like the water immortal holy land had covered it up, just like how his portrait was not spread. At this moment, the Black Beast Bird clan sent back information. Each of the powerful demon clans in the 10,000 demons sea knew about this. In an instant, the entire 10,000 demons sea was shaken, and all kinds of rumors were flying around. There were even rumors that the demon clan's almighty had appeared and slapped the faces of the 5 great sacred grounds. Other than the 10,000 demons sea, after a few days of brewing. The matter of Qin Yu causing havoc in the water immortal holy land finally could not be suppressed and exploded in all parts of the continent. Other than Qin Zhou, no warriors dared to talk about it openly. The other 4 continents and some ungoverned lands were crazily discussing this matter. Countless people wanted to know the specific details of the battle at the water immortal holy land. There were also countless people guessing who the person who attacked the water immortal holy land was. Some forces even suspected that the water immortal holy land no longer had the strength to become one of the 5 great sacred grounds of the continent. This series of rumors caused the water immortal holy land to fly into a rage. In a fit of anger, they massacred many forces who were ready to make a move. Even in the other 4 continents, countless forces and martial artists were affected. Those who ridiculed this matter were all killed by the water immortal Holy Land. Even many Wusheng realm experts died tragically at the hands of the water immortal Holy Land. The angry water immortal Holy Land was like a berserk beast. With the lives of countless people, it made the forces of the continent understand clearly. How terrifying was the strength of this colossus. But the more it was like this, the more curious people were. With the water immortal Holy Land's terrifying strength, what kind of strength did the person who attacked the water immortal Holy Land have to be to beat the water immortal Holy Land to such a state? And to be able to withdraw from the water immortal Holy Land? In the southern border of the continent, outside the Star Continent, there was a chaotic place at the border of the Witch Devil Land. This place was called the Mass Burial Ground. Those who had gathered here were either notorious villains from the continent or demon hunters with astonishing strength who had come to hunt witches. But no matter what kind of person they were, none of the people gathered in this place were simple people. At this moment, in the depths of the Mass Burial Ground, there was a palace built with huge skeletons. A burly man in a black robe was extremely excited. His hands were trembling as he looked at the information in his hands. This man was Qin Yu's father, Qin Tianfeng. The reason why the 5 great sacred grounds could not find him after so many years was because Qin Tianfeng had been hiding in the Mass Burial Ground. This place was connected to the Witch Devil Land and the Star Continent. The people who came and went here were all villains. Therefore, it was the most suitable place to hide. Could it be Xiao Yu? No, it shouldn't be. Qin Tianfeng's gaze was fixed on the information in his hands. Although the information he received was more detailed than the information from the Infinite Demon Sea, he still did not know who the person who caused trouble in the water immortal Holy Land was. However, after reading the information, Qin Tianfeng had a strong premonition. The person who caused trouble in the water immortal Holy Land was most likely Qin Yu. This premonition came from the will of heaven and earth that he comprehended, and he could not ignore it. Chapter 151. Godfather, everyone is gathered. At that moment, a figure entered the palace. It was a young man who was about the same age as Qin Yu. He was dressed in black, and his face was cold. Although he was young, his cultivation was strong. He had already reached the martial honorable realm. Inform everyone that I will be leaving for a while. The plan is cancelled. Qin Tianfeng regained his senses and kept the report in his hand. He then disappeared from the palace. The plan is cancelled? The cold young man was shocked. The plan that he had prepared for half a year was cancelled just like that. Thousand Demons Sea, Xian Turtle Tribe, Seabed City. After the mountain Xian Turtle Tribe elites digested the shocking news, Qin Yu suggested that they go to the north of the Thousand Demons Sea to take a look. He did not have much time to waste. If the Dragon Soul had not said that there was Ancestor Dragon Chi there, he would not have left. Qin Yu had already returned to the Blood Mist Demon Stream and was ready to deal with the Dragon Soul. Bring this along. Hearing Qin Yu's words, Xian Beishan took out a small white turtle shell and passed it to Qin Yu. When Qin Yu touched the white turtle shell, the mountain Xian Turtle Tribe's demonic chi immediately appeared on his body. Immediately, Qin Yu followed Xian Xing to the north of the Thousand Demons Sea. Tribe leader, Xian Xing is the sacred beast of the Xian Turtle Tribe. Isn't it inappropriate for him to bring a human to the Thousand Demons Sea? Seeing that Qin Yu and Xian Xing had left, a Xian Turtle Tribe elite asked, "It's okay. You should go out and train." Xian Beishan was not worried at all. Thousand Demons Sea, on the Blue Sea, Qin Yu and Xian Xing sat on a giant turtle and headed to the north of the Thousand Demons Sea at an amazing speed. With the mountain Xian Turtle Tribe's demonic chi, the demons that they met this time did not see through Qin Yu's identity as a human. A day later, Qin Yu finally arrived at the sea territory in the north of the Thousand Demons Sea. However, when they were a few thousand feet away from the tomb of the Thousand Demons King, they stopped. A few thousand feet in front of them was covered by several powerful auras. That was the pressure of Wusheng's realm. Judging from the strength of those auras, They were not ordinary Wusheng realm experts. After coming to a stop, Qin Yu immediately executed a secret technique. The dragon qi in his body surged as he carefully sensed his surroundings. The aura of a dragon. At the instant Qin Yu executed his secret technique, Xianxing tilted his head and stared at Qin Yu in disbelief. At this moment, the dragon aura in Qin Yu's body gave Xianxing a feeling that it was even stronger than the Ice Wyrm clan. Could it be that he has a demonic bloodline in his body? Recalling that Qin Yu had once asked him if the dragon race existed in the 10,000 Demons Sea, Xianxing thought, "Sure enough, it's in front." At this moment, Qin Yu had completed his secret technique. Although he had never seen the king of 10,000 goblins' tomb, he could sense that the ancestral dragon Qi was in the tomb. "How can I enter the 1,000 goblin king's tomb?" Qin Yu asked Xianxing as the dragon Qi in his body dimmed. Looking at the way the martial sages were guarding it, it would not be easy to enter the myriad fiend king's tomb. "You want to enter the 1,000 goblin king's tomb? Why? Is the thing you're looking for in the 1,000 goblin king's tomb?" Qin Yu's words made Xianxing even more certain that Qin Yu might have a demonic bloodline in his body. "You can say that." Qin Yu nodded. The 1,000 goblin king's tomb is like a sacred ground in the 10,000 Demons Sea. Normally, even the experts from the 5 royal tribes are not allowed to enter. But now, there is indeed a chance. Xianxing thought for a while and said, "What chance?" Qin Yu's eyes lit up. Because the 5 royal tribes seemed to have the intention to invade the 10,000 Demons Sea, the 5 royal tribes have decided to elect a new king of 10,000 demons to unify the 10,000 Demons Sea. But if you want to be qualified to fight for the position of king of 10,000 demons, you must enter the tomb and gain the recognition of the king of 10,000 demons, Saint Spirit. Xianxing explained. The election of the king of 10,000 Demons Sea was not a secret in the 10,000 Demons Sea and the 5 royal tribes. There was no need to hide it. That means if I participate in the battle for the position of king of 10,000 demons king, I will be able to enter the tomb? Qin Yu's eyes lit up. That's right, but only the demonic beasts can participate. Humans are not allowed to enter the 1,000 goblin king's tomb. However, I sensed a strong dragon blood aura from your body just now. Could it be that you have the bloodline of the dragon clan? Xianxing looked at Qin Yu and asked, "The dragon blood?" Qin Yu was stunned. Although he had used his dragon qi to form the yellow class bloodline, there was indeed dragon blood in his body. But strictly speaking, he was still a human. Unless his dragon blood reached the blue class dragon bloodline, he would not be able to turn his blood into dragon blood. However, it would be a good thing if his dragon blood could be mistaken as the demonic beast bloodline. "You don't have it?" Xianxing asked curiously when he saw Qin Yu's strange expression. "How should I put it? How do you demonic beasts test your dragon blood? I don't think it's as simple as sensing if there is demonic qi." Qin Yu did not know how to answer. Forming the dragon blood was a secret skill recorded in the ancient battle dragon art. He cannot reveal it. No, demonic qi can be disguised. But the dragon blood is the power hidden in the deepest part of the body. It can only be detected through special means. Xianxing said. It sounded like the spiritual meridians test for the dragon blood. Qin Yu thought for a while. The Xian turtle tribe should have a way to test it, right? Qin Yu said, "Of course." Xianxing nodded and urged the giant turtle to return to the Xian Turtle Sea region. Xian Turtle Tribe, Underwater City. Drip a drop of blood on it. Xianxing took out a sparkling and translucent crystal and said, "Chi-chi." Qin Yu cut his finger and blood dripped down. The crystal shone brightly and demonic runes appeared. In the next moment, the shadow of a ferocious pitch-black dragon emerged from the crystal, but it disappeared in an instant. 9 Serenity's Hell Dragon. Qin Yu's eyes lit up. The black dragon shadow was the 9 Serenity's Hell Dragon without a doubt. Half demonic body, Xianxing was slightly surprised and then came to a realization. No wonder he could not sense the dragon blood on Qin Yu. Qin Yu knew about the half demonic body. Half of the demonic blood in his body was demonic body. It seemed that the demonic beast test was not very accurate. However, Qin Yu was more concerned about whether he could enter the tomb of the 1,000 demonic king with his half-demonic body. My father will also participate in the battle of the 1,000 demonic king. Let's ask my father first. Xianjing kept the crystal and brought Qin Yu to find his father. Xian Turtle Tribe Palace, Main Hall. You want to participate in the battle of the 1,000 demonic king? Xian Beishan, who was still sending people to investigate the water fairy sacred ground, had a strange expression when he heard Qin Yu's words. The 1,000 demonic king was the strongest demonic king in the 1,000 demonic sea. The weakest demonic king was Wu Sheng. Only the strongest demonic king, Wu Sheng, could become the 1,000 demonic king. Qin Yu was just a martial honorable, and he wanted to compete for the 1,000 demonic king. I don't want to compete for the position of the 1,000 demonic king. I just want to enter the tomb of the 1,000 demonic king. Qin Yu said, just to enter the tomb of the 1,000 demonic king? Why? Hearing this, Xian Beishan's eyes became deep as he looked at Qin Yu. There were many treasures in the tomb of the 1,000 demonic king. Did Qin Yu come for that? Chapter 152. There's a treasure in the 1,000 Goblin King's tomb that can completely awaken my bloodline. Qin Yu thought about it and did not mention the ancestral dragon's chi. A treasure that can completely awaken your bloodline? Xian Beishan paused. Speaking of which, you're not a descendant of the Ice Dragon clan, are you? Qin Yu had the bloodline of the Dragon clan. In the entire 1,000 Goblin Sea, only the Ice Dragon clan was a descendant of the Dragon clan. It was natural for Xian Beishan to think that way. I don't think so. Although the Ice Dragon clan has the bloodline of the Dragon clan, they're descendants of the ancient Ice Dragon. However, Qin Yu's bloodline is a dark and mysterious dragon clan. Xianxing said as he handed the crystal to Xian Beishan. The 9 Abyss Hell dragon that had appeared before appeared in the crystal again. What kind of dragon clan is this? Xian Beishan, who had never left the heavenly dragon continent, did not recognize the 9 Abyss Hell dragon. Senior, how about we make a deal? Qin Yu said when he saw that Xian Beishan could not make up his mind. Oh, what kind of deal? Xian Beishan looked at Qin Yu curiously. To be honest, although Qin Yu was only a martial honorable, Xian Beishan did not underestimate Qin Yu. Although he was a half-beast, Qin Yu dared to come to the 1,000 Goblin Sea alone. His courage was extraordinary. Furthermore, he could faintly sense that Qin Yu's body was emitting a dangerous fluctuation. If Senior can help me enter the 1,000 Goblin King's tomb, I'm willing to repay you with 10 Thunder Punishment Pills. For the Goblin clan, the transformation tribulation was the most difficult. If they were not careful, their soul would be destroyed. The Thunder Punishment Pill could help the Goblin clan offset the power of the Thunder Punishment. 10 Thunder Punishment Pills? Really? Xian Beishan and Xianxing were both shocked. If there were 10 Thunder Punishment Pills, the Mountain Xian Turtle clan would have 10 more martial ancestor realm experts who could transform. This was not just a small increase in the strength of their clan. The earlier a beast transformed, the more they could break through the shackles in their body. It would be more beneficial for them to break through to the Wusheng realm. Of course, Qin Yu nodded slightly. All right. Xian Beishan took a deep look at Qin Yu and agreed. The Infinite Demon Sea was the territory of the Xian Turtle clan. He was not worried that Qin Yu would go back on his word. Brother Qin Yu, do you really have the Thunder Tribulation Pill? Or 10? After Xian Beishan left, Xianxing asked hopefully. Not now, but I'll have it soon. As Qin Yu spoke, he got Xianxing to prepare the spiritual ingredients for the Thunder Tribulation Pill. With his spatial ring lost, Qin Yu had lost all of the spirit materials he had accumulated in the past. He would need the Black Tortoise clan to gather spirit medicines. Xianxing was stunned. Was he going to refine it now? Could it be that Qin Yu was also an alchemy grandmaster? The spiritual materials for the Thunder Tribulation Pill were not very rare. It didn't take long for the Xian Turtle clan to deliver the spirit materials needed to refine 10 Thunder Tribulation Pills. Qin Yu didn't immediately refine the spirit pill and waited for Xian Beishan's answer. The result was very smooth. With the Mountain Xian Turtle clan's influence in the Infinite Demon Sea, It was easy for a half-monster to enter the infinite Demon King's tomb. Of course, when they found out that Yu had the bloodline of the Dragon Clan, the Ice Dragon Clan was very interested in him. The experts of the Ice Flood Dragon Clan were very interested in Yu. They even came to recruit him, but were rejected by Yu. When they found out that they would enter the infinite Demon King's tomb in half a month. After Yu refined the 10 tribulation pills, he took out a section of the 9 Abyss Hell Dragon's main dragon bone from the ancient dragon seal. The hell-suppressing divine spear was destroyed by him in the Battle of the Water Fairy Sacred Ground. Yu had to refine a new spiritual weapon. After all, this was the infinite Demon Sea, the territory of the Demon Clan. No one knew if there would be any accidents. Yu naturally had to increase his strength. The weapon that Yu refined was still the War Spear. This was because among the forces of heaven and earth that he had comprehended in his previous life, the most powerful one was the Spear Force. Whoosh! Whoosh! After setting up the array in the secret room, Yu condensed a rune furnace in the air and placed the 9 Abyss Hell Dragon's dragon bone inside. The flames burned, and the 9 Abyss Hell Dragon's dragon bone, that was dozens of feet large, was refined. While Yu was refining the spiritual weapon, there was an underwater volcano in the eastern part of the infinite Demon Sea. One of the 5 royal clans of the infinite Demon Sea, the Blazing Flame Heavenly Cheelan clan, was located on this volcano. In a dark, ancient palace in the Blazing Flame Heavenly Cheelan clan's palace. Buzz! Buzz! As the teleportation array was activated, several figures appeared in the ancient palace. If there were experts of the infinite Demon Sea here, they would find that these figures had no demonic aura. Without a doubt, they were human cultivators. However, because of the restriction of the Blazing Flame Heavenly Cheelan clan, their auras were sealed here. Not long after, waves of extremely powerful demonic chi swept over. 3 figures that were 20 to 30 feet tall and emitted blazing demonic chi from their bodies had also arrived at the palace. These 3 figures were the experts of the Blazing Flame Heavenly Cheelan clan, Wu Sheng. But first, Holy Sun, why have you come personally? The 3 Wu Sheng of the Blazing Flame Heavenly Cheelan clan actually bowed respectfully when they saw the human cultivators. Suppressing the 5 royal clans of the infinite Demon Sea this time is related to the sacred land's future. Naturally, I have to come and inspect. Among the human warriors, a handsome young man who looked to be in his mid-20s said with a smile. He had sharp eyebrows and sword-like eyes. Don't worry, First Holy Sun. Everything is going according to our plan. The 3 Wu Sheng of the Blazing Flame Heavenly Cheelan clan said, Elders for the Sacred Lands plan, you didn't hesitate to give up your physical bodies and enter your demonic bodies. This is truly admirable. The Sacred Lord has already given the order that regardless of whether this plan succeeds or not, your clans will forever be protected by the Sacred Land and will prosper in the future. The young man with sharp eyebrows said solemnly, We have been nurtured by the Sacred Land since we were young. If we can die for the Sacred Land's plan, we can die without regrets. The 3 Wu Sheng of the Blazing Flame Heavenly Cheelan clan said fervently, The Sky Pillar's Sacred Land, the Fun Yuan Sacred Land, the Water Fairy Sacred Land, and the Wind Lightning Sacred Land all wanted to prevent the Beast Spirit Sacred Land from obtaining the Beast Soul of the Infinite Demon Sea. They even didn't hesitate to leak our plan to invade the Infinite Demon Sea to the Infinite Demon Sea. They really think that without their help, we won't be able to swallow the Infinite Demon Sea. Once this plan succeeds, and we obtain the Beast Soul of the Infinite Demon Sea, the Beast Spirit Sacred Land will become the master of the continent. The 4 Sacred Lands, The young man with sharp eyebrows also had a fiery look in his eyes. It was as if he could already see the Beast Spirit Sacred Land dominating the entire continent. More than 10 days later, in the underwater city of the Black Turtle Sea region, in the secret room, Yu, who was surrounded by the Azure Dragon battling the heavens, had a focused expression as he stared at the bone spear floating in the air in front of him. The bone spear that was originally dozens of feet long was now only a few feet long. The pitch-black body of the spear was covered in mysterious inscriptions that looked like the inscriptions of a dragon. Strands of dragon aura continuously surged around the bone spear. The light of the fire's spiritual array cast the image of the bone spear on the wall, making it look like a Shanran that was about to soar into the sky. It was extremely extraordinary. After the dragon aura on the spear gradually calmed down, Qin Yu's 10 fingers quickly formed dragon seals and sent them into the pitch-black bone spear. Who? 2 hours later, the pitch-black bone spear seemed to have a mind of its own as it continuously spun and howled. Chapter 153. After several tens of breaths of time, that bone spear that was radiating a bloody light finally stopped absorbing Qin Yu's blood. Vaguely, there was a loud dragon roar coming from the bone spear. Success! Qin Yu's eyes lit up when he felt that the bone spear had connected with him. It was a sign that a spiritual weapon could connect with its master. It could be said that it was a sacred weapon. Of course, limited by Qin Yu's cultivation, the bone spear's power was only at the peak of the heaven rank. It couldn't be considered a sacred weapon. When Qin Yu withdrew his right hand, the bone spear's bloody light disappeared, and the spiritual inscriptions became silent. It floated quietly in the air. Since it's refined with the blood of the 9 Serenities Hell Dragon, let's call it the 9 Serenities Dragon Spear. Qin Yu held the 9 Serenities Dragon Spear again, with a smile on his face. Although the 9 Serenities Dragon Spear couldn't increase his physical strength, it could greatly increase the power of his dragon aura. After all, it was made of real dragon bones and watered with dragon blood. After refining a Sumeru ring, Qin Yu put the spear into it. After thinking for a while, Qin Yu walked out of the secret room and left the underwater city. He recalled the skeleton ghost king that had been hiding outside the Black Turtle Sea. After returning to the underwater city, Qin Yu went into seclusion to cultivate. The underwater city of the Black Turtle clan was built on an underwater spirit vein. The heaven and earth spirit chi was extremely rich. Although the monster clan cultivated monster power, their need for heaven and earth spirit chi was above that of the human clan. Rumble. Qin Yu formed the hand seal of the ancient battle dragon art. The deep yellow dragon vein and the 20-branch dragon veins in his body lit up. Suddenly, the heaven and earth spirit chi in the entire Black Turtle Sea gathered crazily with Qin Yu's palace as the center. All the experts of the Mountain Xian Turtle clan were shaken, and they all showed up. What kind of secret technique is this? Xian Beishan, Xian Xing, and the others gathered outside Qin Yu's palace. They were shocked. They naturally thought that Qin Yu was using some kind of secret technique to be able to absorb so much spiritual chi of heaven and earth. But in reality, Qin Yu was really just cultivating. Although the yellow rank bloodline was only ranked 3rd from the bottom among the 9 bloodlines of the ancient battle dragon art, the yellow rank bloodline was only ranked 3rd from the bottom. However, in terms of cultivation talent, it was comparable to an innate Saint Meridian. In addition, it also had 20 sub-dragon meridians. As a result, Qin Yu had 20 sacred meridians in his body. It was no surprise that he could gather so much spiritual chi of heaven and earth during his cultivation. While Qin Yu was crazily absorbing the spiritual chi of heaven and earth to cultivate, a month passed in the blink of an eye. The King of Myriad Demons contest proposed by the 5 royal families of the Myriad Demons Sea was about to begin. Today was the day he would enter the King of 10,000 Beasts' tomb and obtain the recognition of the King of 10,000 Beasts' Holy Spirit. Inside the house, Qin Yu swallowed the surrounding heaven and earth spiritual chi into his body. When he opened his eyes, the shadow of a dragon flashed across his pupils. After a month of hard work, Qin Yu's cultivation rank broke through 2 ranks, and he reached the peak of the martial honorable realm. Slaughtering spear aura. Qin Yu's lips curled into a smile. Aside from reaching the peak of the martial honorable realm, He had also used the killing intent of the heaven's killing array to awaken the slaughtering spear aura that he had comprehended in his previous life. With Qin Yu's current combat strength, even if he did not use the green dragon battle the heavens, he could fight against a martial ancestor realm martial artist. If he used the green dragon battle the heavens, he would have the 9 netherworld dragon spear, 9 netherworld purgatory, and the sky punishment array to strengthen him. Even if it was Wu Sheng, Qin Yu was confident that he could kill him with his spear. Bang, 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 bang. Qin Yu stood up and left the palace. Xian Beishan and the others had already gathered there. This time, the Xian Turtle tribe had sent 10 Wu Shengs. Although Xian Beishan was the strongest in the Xian Turtle tribe, whether he could obtain the recognition of the king of myriad demons' divine spirit depended on luck. Therefore, almost all the demon tribes in the myriad demons' sea would send many top experts to enter the king of myriad demons' tomb. After all, only those who had obtained the recognition of the king of myriad demons' divine spirit were qualified to fight for the position of the king of myriad demons' king. Whoosh! Stepping on the giant turtle of the Xian Turtle tribe, Qin Yu, Xian Beishan, and the others arrived at the north of the myriad demon sea again. This time, Qin Yu entered the territory of the king of myriad demons' tomb. The king of myriad demons' tomb was covered by a demonic qi that covered the sky. Vaguely, one could see a huge figure with 3 heads and 6 arms in the rolling demonic qi. Its demonic qi shook the sky. 3 heads and 6 arms, the heaven-piercing ape god. Under the demonic qi that covered the sky, there was a deep whirlpool. That was the king of myriad demons' tomb. At that moment, there were waves of powerful demonic qi coming from all directions in the myriad demons' sea. The sky changed color at that moment. The top experts of the myriad demons' sea gathered continuously. In the myriad demons' sea, other than the 5 royal tribes, there were more than 10 other tribes like the Xian Turtle tribe. However, perhaps it was because of the nature of the demon tribes. Although the human clan was their natural enemy, the demon clans in the infinite demon sea had never stopped fighting each other. If it were not for the fact that the 5 great holy lands of the human tribe had joined forces to invade the Sea of Demons, the demons in the Sea of Demons would not have the intention to unify the Sea of Demons. Whoosh! Whoosh! Groups of black figures flickered as the 5 royal tribes of the 10,000 Demon Sea, the Ice Dragon tribe, the Heavenly Eye Spirit Fox tribe, the Blazing Flame Celestial Kirin tribe, and the Thunder Rock tribe all appeared. The experts of the 4 tribes came to the place closest to the king of myriad goblins' tomb. Many other powerful demon race clans looked at the 4 great royal clans with burning gazes. Although the innumerable demon sea was said to have 5 royal clans, ever since the fall of the king of innumerable demons, the Tongtian ape god, the king of innumerable demons, the king of innumerable demons, and the king of innumerable demons. The once most powerful royal tribe, the heaven-piercing divine ape tribe, had disappeared in the infinite demon sea. However, the royal status of the ape god race had always been preserved. But this time, with the appearance of the new myriad goblin king, the 5 royal clans were bound to change. In other words, not only would there be a new myriad goblin king in the infinite goblin sea, there would also be the real 5 king tribes. The resources of the 10,000 BC are quite extraordinary. Qin Yu's eyes flickered as he looked at the Saint Realm demons of the demon tribe. At present, the number of demon clan martial sages present had reached nearly 300. 50 to 60% of them were advanced Wu Sheng Realm level 6 and above Wu Sheng Realm. Moreover, these Wu Sheng Realm demons present were definitely not all of the resources of the infinite demon sea. No wonder the 5 great sacred lands of the human clan could not do anything to the infinite demon sea. If they wanted to destroy the infinite demon sea, the 5 great sacred sects of the human clan would have to pay the heavy price of destroying 1 or 2 sacred lands. If they could unite all the demon clans in the infinite demon sea, isn't he the lad who has been wanted by the water fairy's sacred ground? Could he be the half-demon body that the mountain Xian Turtle tribe mentioned? He is quite capable. After causing a ruckus at the water fairy's sacred ground, he managed to sneak into the infinite demon's sea in the blink of an eye, while Qin Yu was sizing up the resources of the infinite demon's sea. Among the 7 Wu Sheng realm demons of the Flaming Sky Qilin, one of the 5 king tribes, 3 of them were stunned when they saw Qin Yu. These 3 people were Wu Sheng realm demons of the human clan from the Beast Spirit Sanctuary. They had used some unknown method to hide in the Flaming Sky Qilin, although not many people in the entire mainland knew that Qin Yu was the one who caused a ruckus at the Water Fairy Sacred Ground. However, the higher-ups of the Wu Sheng realm demons of the other 4 sacred grounds knew. However, they did not expect that Qin Yu, who had mysteriously disappeared from the mainland, would actually come to the infinite demon's sea and even sneak into the mountain Xian turtle tribe. The 3 Wu Sheng realm demons looked at each other. If they could capture him, they might be able to rope him into the Water Fairy Sacred Ground. As far as they knew, the Water Fairy Sacred Ground hated Qin Yu to the core. Chapter 154. Rumble. As the top saints of the 10,000 Demon Sea gathered, 2 high-level Wu Sheng experts from each of the 4 royal families of the Ice Dragon walked out. They sent a mysterious ancient seal of the demon race into the pitch-black vortex. An earth-shaking sound came from the vortex. Then, a huge crack appeared in the pitch-black vortex. A terrifying and vast demonic aura emanated from the crack. Profound meaning of heaven and earth. Martial God suppression. Qin Yu raised his eyebrows slightly. The sky-reaching godly ape of the 10,000 BC had achieved the martial god realm. Wu Sheng from the Blazing Flame Heavenly Qilin clan and the 3 Beast Spirit Holy Lands sneered when they saw this. They were already fully prepared. As long as they could enter, their plan would basically succeed. Go in. At this moment, Old Man Wu Sheng of the Ice Flood Dragon clan shouted in a low voice. Swish! Swish! In an instant, other than the 12 Wu Sheng who were waiting outside the tomb of the king of 10,000 goblins, Wu Sheng and the rest of the monster clan entered the crack in an instant. Swish, 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 swish. Almost at the same time that Wu Sheng and the other demons entered the enormous spatial rift. 8 figures shot out of the sea at lightning speed and appeared around the rift. Who is it? The sudden change of events caused the 12 Wu Sheng beasts guarding the area to be startled. They immediately unleashed their beastly auras. Form the formation. However, the instant the 8 silhouettes appeared, they immediately stood in 8 different directions. An ancient jade talisman appeared in each of their hands, forming a huge 8 trigrams formation. The formation shrouded down and sealed the crack in the 10,000 Demon King's tomb. Pung pung pung. Wu Sheng of the 12 demon clans had launched a terrifying attack. As soon as it came into contact with the 8 trigrams formation, it was immediately devoured and bounced back. The 12 Wu Shengs were knocked away by their own attacks, and their auras became chaotic. Array formation. Human race? That symbol, it's the Beast Spirit Holy Land. Kill. The 12 martial sages of the demon clan steadied themselves and focused their gazes. Only then did they realize that the 8 figures that had appeared were actually 8 humans. Furthermore, they were from the sworn enemy of the 10,000 monster sea, the Beast Spirit Holy Land. Seeing this, the 12 Wu Sheng from the monstrous beast clan immediately became bloodshot. Their killing intent soared to the heavens as they madly attacked the 7-star boundary. In the entire human race, the Beast Spirit Holy Land was the one that the 10,000 demons sea hated the most. The Beast Spirit Holy Land, as the name implied, their cultivation path was the path of refining beast souls. By fusing the beast soul into one's body, one could obtain great power. To the Beast Spirit Holy Land, hunting powerful demonic beasts was practically an instinct. This was because the stronger the beast soul they obtained, the more powerful they would become. Because of this, the Beast Spirit Holy Land had been eyeing the infinite demon sea for many years. Now that they saw the people from the Spirit Beast Holy Land sneaking into their 10,000 monster sea and coveting the 10,000 monster king's tomb, they immediately went crazy. Unfortunately, they did not know what kind of miraculous effect the 8 trigrams formation had. In the face of the 12 Wusheng's full-powered attacks, it was not damaged at all. In the instant when it was attacked, all the attacks were reflected back. Instead, the 12 Wusheng from the monstrous beast clan suffered a great backlash. Success! Among the 8 from the Beast Spirit Holy Land, the young man with sharp eyes was overjoyed when he saw that the 8 trigrams formation had been set up. Immediately, the 8 of them changed their hand seals. The 8 trigrams formation was like a vast starry sky as it began to change. An incomparably terrifying sealing aura was emitted from the 8 trigrams formation. Vaguely, even the void seemed to be sealed inch by inch at this moment in the crack. Sealing power? Qin Yu, who had just entered, was about to use a secret technique to find the chi of the ancestor dragon when he suddenly felt a terrifying sealing aura descend. Wait, this is the divine dragon. Ancient seal vibrated slightly, and the sealing aura dissipated. Qin Yu raised his head, and his eyes narrowed. This is not the suppression of the 1,000 Goblin King's Saint Soul. This is not the tomb of the 1,000 Goblin King either. What is going on? At this moment, except for him, all the other Wusheng from the monstrous beast clan who had entered felt the sealing power. Surging intent realm power of heaven and earth burst out from their bodies to resist the sealing power. When they tilted their heads to take a look, they realized that the space they were in was rippling like the surface of the water. They had clearly fallen into some kind of spirit formation. Celestial, immortal, sealing formation. He looked at the translucent spiritual inscriptions falling from the sky and forming an indistinct 8 trigrams formation. Qin Yu could not hide the shock in his eyes. He did not expect to see such a long-lost primordial spirit formation in the 10,000 Goblin Sea. Qin Yu was quite interested in spirit formations. It was an ancient formation that was famous during the ancient times. What is the celestial immortal sealing formation? Xian Beishan and the other Wusheng from the Xian Turtle clan hurriedly asked after hearing Qin Yu's words. It is an ancient sealing formation. It is divided into the celestial sealing formation and the human sealing formation. These 2 spirit formations form the outer 8 trigrams and the inner 8 trigrams. When the 2 spirit formations combine, it is said to be powerful enough to seal an immortal. As he spoke, Qin Yu discreetly sized up the surrounding Wusheng from the monstrous beast clan. Soon, Qin Yu's gaze landed on 3 silhouettes. Outer 8 trigrams and inner 8 trigrams? Does that mean there's a mole among us? Hearing Qin Yu's words, Xian Beishan pondered for a moment and immediately understood. His eyes darkened. Is the 3 of them? Qin Yu looked at the 3 Wusheng from the Beast Spirit Holy Land in the blazing Sky Qilin clan. Although they had concealed it well, Qin Yu's attainments in spirit formations were clear. With a single glance, he immediately noticed the faint fluctuations of spell formation on the 3 of them. The blazing Sky Qilin clan? Xian Beishan was stunned. The blazing Sky Qilin clan was one of the 5 royal clans of the 10,000 Demon Sea. There was a mole among the blazing Sky Qilin clan? How is that possible? Could it be that this kid has discovered us? No way. Does he know about the celestial sealing formation too? No, we can't let him expose us first. Sensing Qin Yu's gaze, the 3 Wusheng from the Beast Spirit Holy Land's eyes flickered. The power of the celestial immortal sealing formation was undoubtedly extremely powerful. Otherwise, the Water Spirit Holy Land wouldn't have been so confident in sealing hundreds of high-tier Wusheng from the 10,000 Demon Sea. However, the Water Spirit Holy Land hadn't fully comprehended this ancient spirit formation. Therefore, they needed a certain amount of time to unleash the full power of the celestial sealing formation. Their original plan was to capture all the high-tier Wusheng from the 10,000 Demon Sea in one fell swoop. Unexpectedly, Qin Yu, who had jumped out of nowhere, seemed to have discovered their plan. If their identities were exposed now, the hundreds of high-tier wushang would be enough to kill them. Once they died, the celestial sealing formation would definitely be broken. The plan that the Sacred Land had planned for several years would be completely ruined. Everyone, be careful. He is a mole from the human race. With this thought in mind, the three martial sages shouted loudly. Before they finished speaking, demonic runes appeared on their bodies, and a blazing sky Qilin beast appeared behind each of them. Burning with demonic flames, they charged at Qinyu. Chapter 155. Soul Ripples? I see. It's a soul fusion art. Qinyu's eyes turned cold when he saw the three wushang and the inferno, celestial Qilin, behind them. He flashed away from the wushang. Under such circumstances, not many demons would believe him even if he claimed that the souls of the three inferno celestial Qilins were human souls. After all, the three had used a soul fusion art to merge their souls with the souls of the three inferno celestial Qilins. Once the souls were merged, they could not be separated. The three had given up their lives and could only live as monsters in the future. A traitor? I told you he was human. Even if he's half monster, he can't enter the tomb of the Monster King. I didn't expect there to be a problem. Xianbei vouched for this person. Has the mountain Xian turtle race betrayed us? When the hundreds of Monster Clan martial sages saw this, their killing intent surged. This killing intent was not only directed at Qinyu, but also the mountain Xian turtle race experts. Xianbei and the others paled. They were still thinking about how to prove Qinyu's words. How had they become traitors in the blink of an eye? Xianbei, has your race really betrayed the human race? The old man from the ice serpent race stepped out and stared at Xianbei with icy eyes. As he spoke, frighteningly cold beast scales appeared on his body. A giant ice serpent appeared behind him, and the air immediately turned bone-chilling. The mountain Xian turtle race has been in the sea of monsters for 1,000 years. How could we betray the human race? Yellow light shone from Xianbei's body and turned into a giant mountain Xian turtle to block the icy qi. If you didn't betray us, why did you bring that half-monster kid into the tomb of the Monster King? A burly man from the inferno, celestial Qilins, questioned. Demonic fire flickered around him. How do you know that there's a problem with my people? Can't it be that there's a traitor in your race? Xianbei asked coldly. At this time, before confirming that there was really something wrong with Qinyu, Fang Xiu had no idea what was going on. Even if the blazing flame heavenly Qilin race was one of the 5 great royal races, he could not cower. Otherwise, all the demon clan martial sages present would have torn them to pieces. How dare you slander the blazing flame heavenly Qilin clan? The burly man's eyes immediately turned cold. The other Wu Sheng experts of the blazing flame heavenly Qilin race were also brimming with killing intent. Their clan was one of the royal clans of the Sea of 10,000 Demons. They had never been questioned like this before. Are you saying that I can only allow you to question me? Besides Xianbei, the 9 Wushangs of Xian Tortoise clan were not to be outdone either. This sealing power is getting stronger and stronger. Now is not the time for infighting. Everyone calm down. Just as the experts of the 2 clans were about to attack, a bolt of lightning flashed between the 2 clans. It was the Wu Sheng of the Thunder Rock clan. Indeed, from the looks of it, that kid will be captured very soon. At that time, I will personally act. It'll be clear whether he's a traitor or not. A fragrant wind blew over. A beautiful woman wearing snow-white mink fur walked out of the Heavenly Eye Spirit Fox clan. The beautiful woman looked at the battle that had already begun. Her alluring eyes flashed with a mysterious light. The other Wu Sheng of the Sea of 10,000 Demons slightly restrained their killing intent. Whether it was the Mountain Xian Tortoise clan or the Blazing Flame Heavenly Qilin race, they were both major clans of the Sea of 10,000 Demons. Losing either one would be a great loss to the Sea of 10,000 Demons. Before the matter was investigated, they could not casually fight among themselves. Speaking of which, with such a dense dragon aura and dragon blood, Does that half-demon really have no bloodline connection with your Ice Dragon clan? While watching the battle, the beautiful woman of the Heavenly Ice Spirit Fox clan curiously asked the elder of the Ice Dragon clan. No. The elder of the Ice Dragon clan shook his head. His eyes were burning with passion. The dragon blood aura on Qin Yu's body was so dense that even he was tempted. If Qin Yu was really a traitor, then they had to take down the dragon blood in Qin Yu's body. Rumble. At this moment, Qin Yu and the three Wushangs were already fighting. However, the three Wushangs had the cultivation of Wushang Realm LV4. Coupled with the Blazing Flame Heavenly Qilin clan's bloodline superpower, their battle strength soared to the level of Wushang Realm LV6. Even if Qin Yu used the Green Dragon Battle the Heavens, he was still suppressed. Looks like I still have to use the Killing Formation of the Heavens. Seeing the three people who obviously want to kill him, Qin Yu's eyes become even colder. He gives a thought. A gust of eerie ghost chi appeared. The skeleton Ghost King appeared and entangled one of the Wushangs. 9 Hell's Purgatory. Then, dragon scales appeared on Qin Yu's body. He had turned into a dragon. Black fog billowed, and everything within 80 feet became pitch black. It was as if night had fallen. Originally, with Qin Yu's cultivation, he could only use the 9 Hell's Purgatory to a range of 30 feet. However, with the boost from the Green Dragon Battle the Heavens, the range immediately doubled. I can't sense it. The two Wushangs with the Blazing Flame Heavenly Qilin shadow were enveloped by the 9 Hell's Purgatory. Their expressions changed drastically, and they immediately prepared to retreat. Heaven punishing killing intent. Qin Yu's figure flashed, and he chased after one of the Wushang like a ghost. The 9 Hell's Purgatory moved with Qin Yu, making it impossible for that Wushang to escape. Bam! Qin Yu's right hand moved, and the 9 Hell's Dragon Spear with Spear Intent and the Heaven-Punishing Killing Formation slammed into that Wushang like Shunran, rising from the sea with unstoppable momentum. Splat! That Wushang, whose vision and senses were suppressed, didn't sense it at all. He took the full power of the Heavenly Killing Formation head-on. The Blazing Flame Heavenly Qilin's shadow and the concept of heaven and earth around him collapsed. He was immediately heavily injured, and a bloody hole appeared on his body. Soul-devouring curse. That martial saint still wanted to risk his life to counterattack. However, Qin Yu's soul path killing technique had already arrived. A soul shadow slammed into the martial saint's body. The soul shadow didn't have a physical body, but it attacked the origin of that Wushang's soul. In an instant, the already heavily injured Wushang's eyes went blank. Everything was as Qin Yu had expected. With his current strength, if he used the Heavenly Killing Formation, he could easily kill an ordinary Wushang in a duel. Whoosh! The 9 Hell's Purgatory disappeared, and Qin Yu appeared in front of the demonic beasts with that Wushang in his hand. It can't be. All the demonic beast saints, who were waiting for Qin Yu to be captured, were shocked. They didn't know what secret technique Qin Yu had used to raise Wushang's battle strength to that of a martial ancestor. However, he was only a martial ancestor. How could he defeat Wushang? You're courting death. The demonic beast saints of the Blazing Flame Heavenly Qilin race reacted. Their killing intent surged as they charged toward Qin Yu. However, in the next instant, their bodies stiffened, and their killing intent also stagnated. Qin Yu slammed his palm on the sealed Wushang's body, and his soul was taken out. As Wushang's soul was taken out, the 8 trigrams formation in the void immediately became unstable. Chapter 156. Damn it, kill him. Seeing that scene, those 2 martial saints from the Beast Spirit Holy Land immediately rushed toward Qin Yu as if they had gone mad. Since his identity had been exposed and his plan had been foiled, he had to kill Qin Yu at the very least. You're not strong enough to kill me. With a toss of his right hand, the Wushang in Qin Yu's hand shot toward the beast saints from the Blazing Flame Heavenly Qilin race like a javelin. Qin Yu's main body charged at the 2 Wushang, and the battle resumed. It's really a human The burly man from the blazing flame, heavenly Qilin race, blocked the wusheng that Qin Yu had tossed over. His expression changed to one of disbelief after sensing it. How can there be the soul ripples of a human? The other wusheng from the blazing flame, heavenly Qilin race, were also in disbelief. They could clearly sense the soul ripples of a human from the soul of the wusheng from the blazing flame, heavenly Qilin race. Could there be a human spy in the blazing flame, heavenly Qilin race? Even the other beast races found it hard to believe that there was a human spy in the blazing flame, heavenly Qilin race. The blazing flame, heavenly race was one of the 5 royal races of the 10,000 Demon Sea. Only the mountain Xian turtle race's experts were completely relieved. It seemed that Qin Yu was right. The problem lay with the blazing flame, heavenly Qilin race. Let me see. The glamorous woman of the heaven-eyed spirit fox tribe flew over. Her eyes emitted a mystical glow that entered the martial sacred soul. Immediately, the martial sage's human soul and beast soul that had fused into one quickly dissipated. The beast spirit sacred land, the celestial immortal sealing formation. It didn't take long for the beautiful woman to retrieve all of the memories. Fear appeared on her face. Who is this person? The burly man from the blazing flame, heavenly race, asked impatiently when he saw the change in the beautiful woman's expression. See for yourselves. The beautiful woman from the heavenly eye spirit fox clan flicked her finger, and white dots of light flew towards the various beast kings. Beast spirit holy land? Soul fusion technique? Celestial immortal sealing formation? Demon suppression plan? When they touched the white light spot, all the kings of the demon clan saw Wu Sheng's memories. Immediately, their expressions were like that of the beautiful woman, and deep fear appeared on their faces. Luckily, the Beast Spirit Holy Land's plan did not succeed. Otherwise, the 10,000 Beast Sea would be in great danger. No way. He's that. Xian Beishan and the other experts of the Xian Turtle Clan were stunned when they saw the final memories. They stared at Qin Yu in a daze. The ruthless person who turned the entire water fairy Holy Land upside down with his own strength was actually Qin Yu. It was not only the experts of the Xian Turtle Clan. Many of the other Demon Clan martial saints who managed to regain their senses also looked to Qin Yu with incomparable shock. The person who had been frantically searching for information in the 10,000 BC was actually right in front of them. If that was really the case, then Qin Yu being able to kill Wu Sheng of a higher cultivation level wasn't so shocking anymore. After all, Qin Yu was someone who had wreaked havoc in the Water Fairy Holy Land and escaped unscathed. 9 Hells Purgatory, Heavenly Killing Formation. Qin Yu used the True Dragon's 7 flashes as fast as lightning and appeared beside the 2 Wu Sheng. The pitch-black 9 Hells Purgatory was used again, and the Heavenly Killing Formation's power completely exploded. Boom! A deafening explosion came from the pitch-black 9 Hells Purgatory. Then, the several hundred Wu Sheng of the Demon Clan saw 2 figures flying back while vomiting blood. Poof! With a dragon roar, Qin Yu chased after them with the 9 Hells Dragon Spear. This kid's strength is shocking. We're no match for him. Go, and tell the first saint to leave immediately. Of the 2 Wu Sheng of the Water Spirit Holy Land, 1 Wu Sheng ignited his life force and charged at Qin Yu, but he was killed on the spot. The moment he was killed, Qin Yu moved his left hand. A soul seal entered that person's body and directly took out his soul and devoured his origin soul power. Looks like my identity has been exposed. After soul searching that Wu Sheng, Qin Yu understood. No wonder all the saints of the 10,000 BC were looking at him as if he was a monster. Boom! At this moment, as the 2 Wu Sheng of the Beast Spirit Holy Land died, the translucent spiritual inscriptions in the air immediately disappeared. The 8 trigrams formation also completely collapsed. As the sun shone in, Qin Yu and the others appeared in the sky above the 10,000 BC. The moment they entered the crack, they were blocked by the formation and couldn't enter the 10,000 Beast King's tomb. The sky human immortal sealing formation was broken. On the 10,000 BC, The first saint and the others of the Beast Spirit Holy Land were stunned as they stared at the several hundred wusheng of the demon clan. This sudden turn of events caused the 8 of them to be unable to react in time. At this moment, the 8 trigrams formation under their control was surrounded by tens of thousands of experts of the 10,000 BC. Now, the 8 of them were completely surrounded by enemies from the front and back. They had nowhere to run. First saint, that kid has seen through our identities. Let's go. The remaining martial saint immediately flew to the side of the great holy sun and said hurriedly, "Seen through?" Hearing Wu Sheng's words, the first saint's face turned ugly. The sacred land had paid such a huge price and was about to succeed, but they failed? The Beast Spirit Holy Land. The saints of the 10,000 BC, who were shocked by Qin Yu's identity, were filled with murderous intent when they saw the 8 wusheng of the Beast Spirit Holy Land. From the memories of Wu Sheng's soul, once the Beast Spirit Holy Land's plan succeeded, all the high-tier Wu Sheng experts of the 10,000 BC would be wiped out in one fell swoop. At that time, the 10,000 BC would become fish on the chopping block of the Beast Spirit Holy Land. They wouldn't be able to fight back. Seeing the people of the Beast Spirit Holy Land, all the beast saints of the 10,000 BC were enraged. Boundless beast aura exploded and shook the heavens and earth. Not good. Form the star, shifting formation immediately. The first saint of the Beast Spirit Holy Land shouted as his expression changed. Although the people sent by the Water Fairy Holy Land were all at least at the Wusheng realm, they couldn't resist the battle strength of the entire 10,000 BC. Whoosh! Before the first saint finished his words, lightning flashed and appeared. The Thunder Rock Race's expert, who had the Thunder Escape superpower, attacked at lightning speed and killed the 2 wusheng of the Beast Spirit Holy Land on the spot. Boom! But at this time, the first saint and the other 7 wusheng reacted and crushed the ancient jade talismans in their hands. This is Qin Yu, who wasn't involved in the battle, looked down at the 10,000 BC. At this time, a huge formation lit up at the bottom of the 10,000 BC. A light pillar hundreds of feet tall shot up into the sky and into the clouds. At this moment, the 7 people of the Beast Spirit Holy Land and the hundreds of high-tier beast saints of the 10,000 BC were all covered by the light pillar. When the light pillar disappeared, all the beast saints of the Beast Spirit Holy Land and the 10,000 BC disappeared completely. This scene caused the hundreds of thousands of demonic beasts gathered outside the 8 trigrams formation to be shocked on the spot. Chapter 157. One of the 5 great sacred lands of the continent, the Beast Spirit Sacred Land. The Beast Spirit Sacred Land was located in the Beast Spirit Mountain Range. The Beast Spirit Mountain Range was huge and spanned tens of thousands of miles. In the depths of the Beast Spirit Mountain Range, there was an ancient pagoda that was thousands of feet tall. This ancient pagoda was the famous demon-suppressing pagoda of the Beast Spirit sect. As the name suggested, the demon-suppressing pagoda was a place to suppress demonic beasts. Buzz, buzz, buzz. But today, the demon-suppressing pagoda that reached the clouds suddenly shook violently. At the top of the ancient pagoda, a huge array immediately spread out and covered an area of thousands of feet. The disciples who were hunting for beast souls in the Beast Spirit Mountain Range all looked at the demon-suppressing pagoda in shock, not knowing what had happened. Success! Only the hundreds of Wusheng realm elders of the Beast Spirit Sacred Land who had been waiting outside the demon-suppressing pagoda were overjoyed. Since the star transfer array had been activated, it meant that the Beast Spirit Sacred Land's plan had succeeded. This made all the Wusheng realm elders of the Beast Spirit Sacred Land unable to hide their excitement. As long as this plan succeeded, they would be able to refine the top Wusheng realm beast soul of the 10,000 Demon Sea. In that case, their Beast Spirit Holy Land would have an additional few hundred high-level martial sages. At that time, the Beast Spirit Sacred Land would become the most powerful of the 5 great sacred lands. The 10,000 demon sea would also become their cage. When they obtained the sacred spirit of the 10,000 demon king, they would be able to dominate the entire continent. Boom! After the demon suppressing pagoda shook, a light pillar that was hundreds of feet tall suddenly descended from the sky. It landed on the top of the demon suppressing pagoda, on top of the array that was thousands of feet tall. The moment the two made contact, the array suddenly shrank and entered the demon suppressing pagoda along with the light pillar. Quick! Everyone enter the pagoda and get ready to capture all the beast souls. Among the Wu Sheng realm elders of the beast spirit sacred land, an elder in a golden robe immediately shouted excitedly. Immediately, all the Wu Sheng realm elders of the beast spirit sacred land entered the demon suppressing pagoda. The demon suppressing pagoda was like another space. It was vast and boundless. There were countless golden altars floating in the demon suppressing pagoda. Several mysterious chains of spiritual tattoos hung down from each of the altars. At the end of the spiritual tattoo chains, there were beast souls that were suppressed and sealed by the spiritual tattoo chains. What's going on? However, the moment the beast spirit holy land and the other Wu Sheng realm elders rushed into the demon sealing pagoda, the excitement and joy on their faces all froze. Above the demon subduing pagoda, many demon clan martial sages with terrifying auras stood in the air. An aura that seemed capable of destroying the heavens and earth filled the entire Yao sealing pagoda. The spiritual rune chains hanging down from the suppressing demon pagoda shattered one after another. They couldn't get close to Wu Sheng at all. Looking at Wu Sheng's monstrous demonic aura, they didn't seem to have been sealed at all. Swish. Swish. At this time, several figures streaked across the sky. It was the first holy prince and the others. First elder, the identities of the three elders who sneaked in have been exposed. The celestial immortal sealing formation has been broken. The plan failed. The few of them flew in front of the golden-robed elder, their faces pale. The plan failed? If that's the case, why did you activate the star transfer formation? The golden-robed elder's eyes twitched. He looked at the first holy prince and the others with a murderous look in his eyes. We were surrounded by thousands of demons and couldn't escape. So, as the first holy prince and the others spoke, their faces became even paler. They knew that doing so would bring danger to the beast spirit holy land, but they had no other choice in order to escape. So, in order to survive, you activated the star transfer formation and brought back all the top Wu Sheng of the infinite demon sea. Bastards! The golden-robed elder was furious and struck out with his palm. The first holy prince and the others who were lucky enough to escape were immediately sent flying while vomiting blood. They were severely injured. If the celestial immortal sealing formation had successfully sealed the 300 Wu Sheng of the demon clan and brought them back, then the few of them would definitely be the ones with the greatest merit. But now, the 300 Wu Sheng of the demon clan had come back to the beast spirit holy land safe and sound. This was equivalent to the beast spirit holy land fighting against the entire infinite demon sea with their own strength. Although the 300 Wu Sheng of the demon clan were not the entire fighting force of the infinite demon sea, but to the beast spirit holy land, this was already a disaster. Quickly inform the sacred lord and ask all the elders to come and suppress them with the power of the demon subduing pagoda. Although he was furious, the golden-robed elder did not lose his calm. He immediately ordered all the elders to enter a state of battle. Star transfer formation. It is indeed an ancient teleportation formation. Among the saints of the infinite demon sea, Qin Yu looked at the ancient teleportation formation that appeared in the demon subduing pagoda. Celestial immortal sealing formation, star transfer formation. Could it be? Qin Yu squinted his eyes as a thought flashed through his mind. Of these two ancient teleportation formations, one had been lost long ago, and the other was only available to the super forces in the Qinyan region. Now, Both of them had appeared in the beast spirit Holy Land. Qin Yu could not help but be surprised. Huh. I did not expect to see the sacred weapon of the beast spirit Holy Land in my lifetime. At this moment, a voice that was filled with extremely cold, killing intent came from the Ice Flood Dragon clan. Beast spirit Holy Land, it is time to pay the debt of blood with blood. Before the voice died away, the elder of the Ice Dragon clan could no longer suppress the killing intent in his heart. He immediately revealed his true form and turned into a ferocious ice dragon that was at least 10,000 feet long. He charged out with an earth-shattering aura. Wherever he passed, a shocking chill spread and the void froze. Ong, 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 ong. Roar, 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 roar. At this moment, not only the elder of the Ice Dragon clan, but almost all of the Wu Sheng of the Demon clan had revealed their true forms. Many ferocious demonic beasts filled the void of the demon, subduing pagoda. They used all kinds of amazing skills and charged out with bloodshot eyes. Get into formation and stop them. The elder in the golden robe from the beast spirit Holy Land had a grave expression as he shouted. The hundreds of Wu Sheng elders moved, and their auras were connected. Terrifying will of heaven and earth exploded and turned into a huge spirit array to resist the hundreds of demon sages that had revealed their true forms. At this moment, the demon subduing pagoda was also unsealed. The spiritual rune chains that filled the sky fused with each other and formed huge spiritual rune chains that swept towards the hundreds of Wu Sheng of the Demon clan. This demon subduing pagoda was obviously made purely to suppress the Demon clan. The spiritual rune chains that fell endlessly with shocking power were targeted at the Demon clan of the Demon Sea. They did not affect Qin Yu at all. Rumble. Immediately, countless terrifying forces collided in the demon subduing pagoda. The entire void trembled violently at this moment, as if it would collapse at any moment. The altars in the pagoda were directly destroyed, and countless beast spirits flew away. It was a horrifying scene that looked like the end of the world. In the void, Qin Yu did not interfere as he watched the Demon clan of the Demon Sea and the beast spirit Holy Land fight crazily. He was still quietly looking at the star-shifting array in the demon subduing pagoda. Other than Qin Yu, there were dozens of Wu Sheng of the Demon clan. Although they were filled with murderous intent, they did not interfere. They flashed in the void and captured the fleeing beast spirits. Chapter 158. Although those beast souls had been trapped in the demon subduing pagoda and had lost much of their intelligence, they could still use the demon subduing pagoda. There was still a chance for them to recover if they were brought back to the 10,000 monster sea. Furthermore, even if they couldn't recover, they couldn't let those beast souls fall into the hands of the beast spirit's sacred land. Damn it! Outside the demon subduing pagoda, outside the powerful barrier, the golden-robed elder noticed the beast saints of the 10,000 monster sea, and his expression turned ugly. Beast souls that could enter the demon subduing pagoda were at least martial ancestor realm. After merging with a secret technique, they could become saint-level beast souls in the future. Now, their years of hard work were going to go to waste. Roar! Suddenly, the beast saints of the Inferno Sky Chilan race lit up with magma-like red beast tattoos. Accompanied by a deafening roar, a dark golden pillar of flame shot out. Chi! Chi! When the golden flames collided with the spirit formation formed by the 100 saints of the beast spirit Holy Land, the golden flames immediately began to burn. What was even more surprising was that the golden flames were like maggots attached to bones. They stuck to the spirit formation and burned crazily without being shaken off in the slightest. This was the mystical power of the Inferno Sky Chilan race, the heavenly Chilan fire. It could burn anything. Crack! The barrier, which was already shaking, cracked under the burning of the heavenly Chilan fire. Then exploded. Crack! Bolts of lightning tore through the sky. More than a dozen thunder rocks instantly charged into the Wu Sheng of the beast spirit's sacred land. Their sharp claws, surrounded by lightning, were like peerless swords. Even space was torn apart. The wushang of the Beast Spirit Sacred Land couldn't react in time. The barrier formed by the intent of heaven and earth around him shattered, and he was severely injured. A charming laughter that sounded like a silver bell rang out. A pink fragrance filled the air. The heavenly pupil spirit Fox Clan's charm technique had appeared. Even though the Beast Spirit Sacred Land's elders were all at the wushang realm, they relaxed. Roar. Ferocious ice dragons roared in the sky. Wherever the ice dragons passed, space froze. Among the elders of the Beast Spirit Holy Land, many of them were completely frozen. Even if they managed to break free in time, their battle strength would be greatly reduced. Other than the 4 king clans, there were also the Mountain Xian Tortoise, Ancient Mammoth, Heavenly Ant Clan, and other major clans in the 10,000 Demon Sea. He also displayed his might. In the instant that the barrier was destroyed, the group of demonic beasts rushed out and destroyed the defense of the Beast Spirit Holy Land. Whoosh! Whoosh! Just as the saints from the 10,000 Demon Sea were about to rush out of the 10,000 Demon Tower, the other wushang elites from the Beast Spirit Holy Land finally arrived. Dangjin Seal. Today, they will not be able to return. A loud and steady voice sounded. A figure with a shocking aura entered the ears of all the saints of the Beast Spirit Sacred Land. 200 to 300 Wushang's realms rushed over with a majestic aura. The leader was a man dressed in black with several deep scars on his face. He was the sacred leader of the Beast Spirit Sacred Land, Shui Yangji. Wushang's cultivation was at the peak of the Wushang realm, and his will of heaven and earth had reached the complete realm. Shui Yangji was surrounded by 7 beast spirits. Each of them was at the 7th or 8th level of the Wushang realm, and their strength was shocking. With Shui Yangji's arrival, the power of the demon sealing tower suddenly increased by several times. Sacred leader, that person's arrival made all the saints of the Beast Spirit Sacred Land excited, and their auras increased greatly. Their respective beast spirits also released their spiritual artifacts. The spiritual artifacts in their hands surged with a piercing aura. Kill. When the demonic beasts of the 10,000 Demon Sea saw those beast spirits, their killing intent became even more terrifying. Like a flood of demonic beasts, they charged into the martial sages of the Beast Spirit Holy Land in a barbaric manner. With the demonic beasts' innate defenses and physical bodies, they charged forward without any fear. The battle between the two sides immediately reached a new level. Violent demonic chi and rich true yuan clashed, and countless blood and limbs fell into the air. The battle was fierce. Roar, roar, roar. Shui Yangji, who had 7 Wushang beast spirits around him, was the strongest. He was held back by the 4 top saints of the Ice Dragon race and the Blazing Flame Heavenly Qilin race. They fought in the air above the demon sealing tower, and waves of destructive storms exploded. More than half of the demon sealing tower's tens of thousands of miles of space had become a chaotic and tragic battlefield. Anyone below the Wushang realm who was involved would definitely die. Qin Yu, who was studying the star-changing ancient teleportation formation, suddenly had a cold look, and his figure flashed over. Qi, a swift and fierce sword light, as fast as a shadow, slashes at the place where Qin Yu was previously standing. Qin Yu tilts his head to take a look. He only sees a tall and straight silhouette with 3 beast silhouettes around him and a sharp sword in his hand. That person was the first saint of the Beast Spirit Sacred Land, and he stared at Qin Yu with murderous intent. However, the handsome first saint with sharp brows and sword-like eyes. At this moment, blood was dripping from the corner of his mouth, and his aura was chaotic. How dare you collude with the Yao race and harm my Beast Spirit Sacred Land? You deserve to die. The first saint of the Beast Spirit Sacred Land charged at Qin Yu again, and the 3 Wushang beast spirits around him swept out. You dare to come alone? Looks like you don't know anything. Qin Yu took an indifferent glance at the great holy sun. Nine Hells Purgatory. Dragon Chi immediately surged, and dragon scales appeared on Qin Yu's body. The great holy sun and the three beast spirits were immediately enveloped by the purgatory space. Poof! Poof! Before the first holy son of the sacred land could react, the connection between him and the three beast spirits that were connected to his mind was instantly cut off. How was this possible? Could the water fairy sacred land's information be false? The first saint was extremely shocked, and his soul almost left his body. If the beast spirits lost contact, there was only one possibility. They were all killed, but how was that possible? Those were three Wusheng beast spirits. Even if their cultivation was only at the second level of the Wusheng realm, Qin Yu would not be able to kill them instantly, as he had to rely on a secret technique to raise his strength to the martial ancestor realm. According to the information from the Water Fairy's sacred land, Qin Yu did have a powerful killing formation hidden on his body, but it could only barely deal with Wusheng. In the current situation, Qin Yu is nothing. He could only barely deal with Wusheng. Whoosh! While the first saint was panicking, Qin Yu, whose body was covered in dragon scales, instantly locked onto him. The Nine Hells dragon spear contained the heaven-slaying formation, and it was like a wild dragon emerging from the sea. Although it carried a vast aura, the first saint, who was fleeing in a panic, did not notice it at all. Poof! As expected, the first saint was pierced by the dragon spear, and his soul was devoured by Qin Yu. Sky Crane Valley of the seven great martial realms? Could it be that I am overthinking? After soul-searching, Qin Yu raised his eyebrows slightly. The beast spirit sacred land also had a backer in the seven great martial worlds. However, the backer of the beast spirit sacred land was different from what Qin Yu had guessed. As for the celestial immortal sealing formation, it was not set up by the first saint. They had only guided the power of the formation from the ancient talisman, just like the power of the formation map. After killing the first saint of the beast spirit's sacred land, the Nine Hells Purgatory disappeared. Qin Yu raised his head slightly and looked at the center of the demon-suppressing tower. The reason why the beast spirit's sacred land could withstand the attacks of hundreds of high-tier Wusheng in the 10,000 Demon Sea was because of the demon-suppressing tower. The aura of the demon-suppressing tower was getting stronger and stronger, suppressing the cultivation of the 10,000 Demon Sea. Whoosh! With a thought, the skeleton Ghost King appeared and flew up, rushing toward a certain place in the demon-suppressing tower. This aura, almost at the same time as the skeleton Ghost King appeared, in the depths of the beast spirit sacred land, in an ancient palace filled with dense ghost chi, two purple eyes suddenly appeared. Chapter 159. Not good. Stop it. Shui Yangji, the lord of the beast spirit sacred land, shouted when he sensed the skeleton Ghost King's target. Whoosh! 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 Several Wusheng from the beast spirit sacred land immediately flew towards the skeleton Ghost King. Stay here, Xian Beishan, who had transformed into the mountain black tortoise, roared. A circle of yellow light that was 1,000 feet wide instantly enveloped the few martial sages. After the yellow light, a gravity that was several hundred times stronger appeared, causing the several Wusheng to feel like they were in a swamp. They were as slow as turtles. Boom! At this moment, the skeleton Ghost King had already reached the top of the Yao Ceiling Tower. An attack that contained a terrifying, ghostly power punched out. Crack! A deafening shattering sound could be heard. The ancient bronze mirror that the skeleton Ghost King had struck immediately shattered into pieces. The Yao Ceiling Tower that was emitting a powerful aura instantly quieted down. The spiritual rune chains in the air also turned into spiritual runes and disappeared. How did he know where the heart of the Yao Ceiling Tower is? Shui Yangji's eyes froze. In the entire beast spirit's sacred land, only he knew where the heart of the Yao Ceiling Tower was. How did Qin Yu know? Haha, beast spirit's sacred land, your end has come. Without the suppression of the Yao Ceiling Tower, The saints of the 10,000 Demon Sea were like fierce beasts that had broken free from their shackles. The 10,000 Demon Sea seemed to have gained the upper hand in the originally chaotic battle. Cui Yangji had no choice but to immediately order them to leave the Yao Sealing Tower and use the guardian array of the Beast Spirit's sacred land to fight against the 10,000 Demon Sea. Before leaving, Cui Yangji gives Qin Yu a look that is filled with killing intent. First, the 10,000 Demon Sea had ruined their plan. Now, the Yao Sealing Tower's heart was destroyed. In Cui Yangji's heart, Qin Yu had become a must-kill target. Rumble. In the blink of an eye, the Yao Sealing Tower that had turned into a chaotic battlefield quieted down. However, at the Beast Spirit Holy Land in the outside world, a world-shaking battle was being transmitted. At this moment, the Beast Spirit Holy Land was being destroyed. After destroying the heart of the Yao Sealing Pagoda, Qin Yu summoned the Skeleton Ghost King back and continued to study the ancient star transposition formation. There was no doubt that the experts from the innumerable Demon Sea had astonishing battle prowess. However, it was still difficult to destroy the entire Beast Spirit Holy Land in a short period of time. Even if he could, he would have to pay a huge price. Therefore, Qin Yu estimated that once they vented their anger, they would retreat from the Beast Spirit Holy Land. Crack, crack. Just as Qin Yu was carefully observing the array, the sound of bones struggling could be heard. All the hairs on Qin Yu's body stood on end. Without even thinking, he immediately rushed over. Puff! Almost at the same time, the Skeleton Ghoul King attacked Qin Yu with lightning speed, piercing through Qin Yu's left arm. If he had not dodged in time and had the Azure Dragon battling the heavens protecting him, Qin Yu's entire body would have been sliced in half. This ghostly aura, Qin Yu's soul power vibrated and released the soul power of the contract, imprisoning the Skeleton Ghoul King. Then, he looked at the ghostly aura floating in the void with a sharp gaze. Ghost Demon Cave? In an instant, Qin Yu sensed it. This ghostly aura was exactly the same as the ghostly aura that had followed him when he left the Ghost Demon Cave and tried to sneak an attack on him. However, Qin Yu sensed that the ghostly aura was only at the martial ancestor realm. Now, the ghostly aura had reached the Wusheng realm. Moreover, it was not the ordinary Wusheng realm. The 100 Countries battlefield was the place where the Water Fairy Holy Land chose their disciples. The existence hiding in the Ghost Demon Cave was related to the Beast Spirit Holy Land. This caused Qin Yu to be somewhat surprised. Since you're here, come out. Qin Yu looked at a certain spot in the Yao Sealing Pagoda. Although the other party borrowed the ghostly aura and had a good ghost escape technique, it could not hide from Qin Yu's senses. As expected, you found me again. After Qin Yu finished speaking, wisps of faint purple, ghostly aura condensed in the void he was looking at. A muscular figure condensed. Although his appearance could not be seen clearly, his purple eyes were very eye-catching. Why? Do you want to take the Skeleton Ghost King back? A fierce light flashed in Qin Yu's eyes. Previously, he had tried to sneak an attack on him in the 100 Countries battlefield. This time, he controlled the Skeleton Ghost King to kill him. This guy who looked like neither a human nor a ghost seemed to be tired of living. I want the Skeleton Ghost King. The ancient bronze token is not something you should touch. The purple-eyed figure's voice was gloomy, and there were no fluctuations in his emotions. It seems that you know the origin of the ancient bronze token. Why don't you tell me about it? A thought flashed in Qin Yu's mind. Could this ghostly cultivator be one of the two martial emperors who perished together? I said that it is not something you should touch. The purple-eyed figure said coldly. I'm sorry. I don't intend to hand it over when it is in my hands. Qin Yu's voice also became cold. Don't think that you can be so arrogant just because you can kill Wusheng. There are many people who are more powerful than you outside the continent. The purple-eyed figure was surrounded by a dense, purple, ghostly aura. His aura was getting stronger. Qin Yu smiled faintly. He did not deny this point. In the Heaven Domain, there were many geniuses who could kill Wusheng when they were martial emperors. For those geniuses who had innate superpowers, primordial bloodlines, and supreme inheritances, it was as easy as eating and drinking. Qin Yu had never believed that, with his current strength, he would be able to be fearless. But at the very least, Qin Yu did not take this purple-eyed figure seriously. Since you don't know what's good for you, then don't blame me for being impolite. Seeing that Qin Yu was indifferent, the purple-eyed figure suddenly condensed the faint purple ghostly aura around him into a ferocious ghostly head. TSK, TSK, TSK. The moment the ferocious ghostly head condensed, white smoke rose from the void as if it was being corroded. Spirit-devouring ghostly force. Seeing the purple-black ghostly face mark on the ferocious ghostly head, Qin Yu's eyes suddenly froze. You know about the spirit-devouring ghostly force? Who are you? The purple-eyed figure, who was about to attack, froze when he heard Qin Yu's words. His eyes were filled with nervousness. The person who will kill you. Words filled with dense killing intent were spat out from Qin Yu's mouth. Before he finished speaking, Qin Yu's figure flashed and pounced on the purple-eyed figure. The spirit-devouring ghostly force was one of the ancient emperors of the Heaven Domain, the Sky Suppression Ghost Emperor. In Qin Yu's previous life, the Sky Suppression Ghost Emperor was one of the 12 ancient emperors who besieged Qin Yu. Although the Sky Suppression Ghost Emperor was known as the Ghost Emperor, in fact, he entered the Tao of Array and became a sovereign. In Qin Yu's era, only the Sky Suppression Ghost Emperor could surpass Qin Yu in terms of Array Tao in the Heaven Domain. If he had not fallen into the array set up by the Sky Suppression Ghost Emperor, Qin Yu would not have fallen into such a desperate situation. He did not expect that after thousands of years, he would meet someone from the Sky Suppression Ghost Emperor's bloodline. The killing intent in Qin Yu's heart burst out uncontrollably. Chapter 160. So it's just a grudge. Seeing Qin Yu charge at him without a word, the purple-eyed figure was slightly surprised. The nervousness in his eyes dissipated. Since it was just a grudge against his bloodline, he was relieved. Soul-devouring ghost curse. Immediately, the purple-eyed figure's hands formed a series of hand seals. Countless ghost curses spread out from the purple-black mark on the hideous ghost head. Immediately after, thousands of purplish-black rays of light shot explosively toward Qin Yu from all directions like 10,000 arrows being shot at the same time. 7 true dragon flashes. The cold killing intent in Qin Yu's eyes intensified. The azure dragon aura surged, and he flashed 7 times in a row to avoid the purple-black lights. Still want to run? The purple-eyed figure sneered. He immediately predicted Qin Yu's location and changed his hand seals. That hideous ghost head appeared in front of Qin Yu as if it had teleported. 9 Hell's Purgatory. Dragon scales appeared, and Qin Yu's surroundings turned pitch black. It was as if night had fallen, and it enveloped the hideous ghost head. This is the 9 Hell's Purgatory Dragon's natural ability. The purple-eyed figure's pupils shrank to the size of needles. He was extremely shocked. He had almost died in the 9 Hell's Purgatory during that battle, so he knew how terrifying the dragon race's natural abilities were. However, even if the 9 Hell's Purgatory Dragon was taken away, it shouldn't have survived. Why would Qin Yu use the natural ability of the 9 Hell's Purgatory Dragon? Heavenly Killing Formation. In the Purgatory space, Qin Yu stabbed with his spear. The Heavenly Killing Formation spread from the tip of the spear and stopped the hideous ghost head. Ghost Eye of Destruction. At the same time, the Ghost Eye of Destruction flashed in Qin Yu's eyes. A ray of ghost light appeared and devoured the hideous ghost head. The purple-eyed figure, who was still in shock, trembled violently and spat out a mouthful of blood. The soul-devouring ghost curse disappeared? How is this possible? The purple-eyed figure was even more shocked and incredulous. The spirit-devouring ghost power was one of the most troublesome powers in the Heaven Domain. This was because the spirit-devouring ghost force could devour the spiritual chi of heaven and earth, as well as true yuan, to strengthen itself. Even if it encountered a power that was several times stronger, it would not disappear. Instead, it would attach itself to the power and continued to devour it. However, the soul-devouring ghost curse that he had unleashed had completely disappeared. How did Chinyu do it? The nine hells purgatory vanished, revealing Chinyu. Chinyu, who had fought with Ghost Emperor Jintian, naturally knew the power of the spirit-devouring ghost power. Therefore, he was very clear about the weakness of the spirit-devouring ghost energy. Although Chinyu's cultivation was weak, the purple-eyed figure was not Ghost Emperor Jintian. Compared to Ghost Emperor Jintian's spirit-devouring ghost energy, there was a world of difference. Therefore, Chinyu only used a little trick to seal that power with the ghost eye of annihilation. Whoosh! Without the slightest hesitation, Chinyu rushed to the front of the purple-eyed silhouette in an instant. The nine underworld's dragon's spear shook, and a heaven-shaking might swept out violently. Vaguely, a heaven-shaking dragon roar sounded, and the spear radiance surrounded by dragon chi exploded. Whoosh! The purple-eyed figure looked serious and did not meet Chinyu's attack head-on. Ghost chi burst out of his body and swept in all directions. Do you really think your ghost escape technique is powerful? Chinyu coldly smiled. As if he had teleported, he traversed several tens of feet and appeared in the sky. The nine hells purgatory appeared again and covered the purple-eyed figure who had just revealed himself. Boom! Whoosh! The heavenly killing formation and the ghost eye of annihilation were used together. The purple-eyed figure immediately vomited blood and his aura weakened. Just you wait. The purple-eyed figure, whose body had been pierced by the ghost eye of annihilation and was heavily injured, roared angrily when he could not find Chinyu. His ghost body immediately left his physical body and turned into countless wisps of ghost chi that disappeared into the void. He runs really fast. Chinyu raised his eyebrows, and the nine hells purgatory disappeared. He originally wanted to capture that person and see the memories of the Ghost Emperor Jintian. He didn't expect that the other party's escape technique was quite good, even though his strength was weak. However, as long as he knew that person was related to the Beast Spirit Sacred Land, he would be able to capture him sooner or later. Even now, Chinyu also knew about it. Why would the Beast Spirit Sacred Land, which cultivated the Beast Spirit Tao, have such rare formations like the Celestial Immortal Sealing Formation and the Star Shifting Ancient Teleportation Formation? Boom! At this moment, an earth-shaking explosion sounded. A terrifying shock wave slammed into the demon's sealing pagoda, causing it to shake uncontrollably as if it would collapse at any moment. Chinyu's figure flashed and appeared outside the demon's sealing tower. At this moment, the Beast Spirit Sacred Land seemed to have experienced an earthquake and tsunami. With the Beast Spirit Sacred Land as the center, the Beast Spirit mountain range within a radius of 10,000 miles was devastated. Cracks appeared on the ground, and countless deep pits could be seen. Golden flames swept across the land, and the biting cold shook heaven and earth. The Beast Spirit Sacred Land's main sect was completely destroyed. The tens of thousands of splendid palaces and pavilions were destroyed in an instant. Not a single building was intact. The elders and disciples were also dead or injured. This scene was much more tragic than the Water Fairy Sacred Land after Chinyu had caused a ruckus. After all, Chinyu had only destroyed the Water Fairy Sacred Mountain to save his mother and to delay the enemy's battle power. However, the hundreds of beast saints in the infinite demon sea were purely seeking revenge on the Beast Spirit Sacred Land. After leaving the demon sealing tower, they immediately destroyed the Beast Spirit Sacred Land. The Beast Spirit Sacred Land couldn't stop hundreds of beast saints by themselves. They could only watch as the Beast Spirit Sacred Land was destroyed and countless disciples and elders lost their lives. Of course, the Beast Spirit Sacred Land could only blame themselves for all this. If they hadn't been so ambitious to suppress the entire infinite demon sea and become the overlord of the mainland, this wouldn't have happened. However, the hundreds of beast saints in the infinite demon sea didn't have the upper hand. This was because at this time, the experts from the other four sacred lands received the Beast Spirit Sacred Land's call for help and came to reinforce them. The loud sound just now was the saint from the 5 sacred lands joining forces and clashing with the hundreds of beast saints in the infinite demon sea. Whoosh! When Qin saw the great elder of the water fairy sacred land, a cold light flashed in his eyes. However, now was not the time to deal with them. Immediately, Qin moved his lips and sent a voice transmission to the murderous saints of the infinite demon sea. Let's go. The saints of the infinite demon sea, who had originally planned to retreat, immediately turned into rays of light and entered the demon ceiling tower when they heard Qin Yu's voice. After knowing Qin Yu's identity and background, and after Qin Yu had destroyed the demon ceiling tower's pagoda core, it could be said that the various clans of the 10,000 demons trusted Qin Yu greatly. Surround them. Seeing that Wu Sheng of the beast race had entered the demon ceiling tower, Cui Yangji, whose face was dark and murderous, shouted. The mighty martial artists of the 5 great holy lands immediately surrounded all the entrances to the demon ceiling pagoda. Buzz, buzz, buzz. However, at this time, a clear trembling sound came from the demon ceiling tower. Oh no, it's the star-shifting formation. Cui Yangji suddenly reacted and his expression changed drastically. He immediately rushed into the demon ceiling tower with his men. However, when they entered, they saw a huge light pillar that enveloped all the beast saints of the infinite demon sea and disappeared. Chapter 161. Damn it. Activate the star-shifting formation. I want to destroy the 10,000 demons sea. Cui Yang roared like a raging beast when he saw the white beam of light shoot up into the sky and disappear in the blink of an eye. The Wu Sheng from the Beast Spirit Holy Land looked at each other. Although they could activate the formation, no one moved. If the experts from the 5 holy lands worked together and entered the 10,000 demons sea, they were confident that they could defeat the 10,000 demons sea. However, other than the Beast Spirit Holy Land, the experts from the 5 holy lands did not plan to do so. The other 4 holy lands didn't have such plans. In fact, they were probably happy to see the Beast Spirit Holy Land suffer. Seeing that they had sent so few experts as reinforcements, it was enough to see what the other 4 holy lands were thinking. After all, the Beast Spirit Holy Land would benefit the most from conquering the 10,000 demon sea. It was not something that the other 4 holy lands wanted to see. What happened? That little bastard's injuries have recovered so quickly? Among the 5 holy lands, the first elder of the water fairy holy land and the others were shocked. Although the light beam of light had disappeared in an instant, they still saw Qin Yu. When Qin Yu escaped from the water immortal holy land, they all knew very well how serious his injuries were. Not only were his hands crippled, but his body was also covered in blood. It was obvious that he was severely injured and on the verge of death. However, it had only been a short while, and his injuries had already recovered to their original state. More importantly, why was Qin Yu with the beast saints of the 10,000 demons sea? Didn't the 10,000 demons sea hate humans the most? Could it be that Qin Yu and his son were not from the Qin family of the Zhenwu dynasty, but from the 10,000 demons sea? A series of doubts appeared in the minds of the water fairy holy land and the others. However, there was no doubt that they had a blood feud with Qin Yu. If Qin Yu obtained the help of the 10,000 demons sea, it would be extremely bad news for them. At the same time, outside the tomb of the 10,000 demons king, a huge light beam of the formation shot up into the sky. The countless demons gathered around the formation at the bottom of the sea were on guard. In the next moment, Qin Yu and the hundreds of beast saints from the 10,000 demons sea appeared along with the formation. Crack! With a flick of his finger, Qin Yu destroyed the star-shifting ancient revolving transfer formation at the bottom of the sea. This way, even if the 5 holy lands wanted to chase after them, they wouldn't be able to do so. The saints of the innumerable demon sea who had returned safely expressed their goodwill to Qin Yu. This time, if Qin Yu hadn't broken the heart of the Yao Ceiling Pagoda and taken control of the Great Stellar Transposition Array, If they wanted to return to the innumerable demon sea, they would have to pay more than a dozen demon saints. After all, the beast spirit sanctuary was quite far away from the infinite demon sea. Without a teleportation formation, even Wu Sheng would need to fly for a few days just by flying. And the human race's 5 great holy lands absolutely would not let them return so easily. Seeing this, Qin Yu fell into deep thought. Although he had helped the sages of the 10,000 demon sea, it was more to enter the tomb of the 10,000 demon king. But now, the 5 great holy lands of the human clan and the infinite demons sea were like fire and water. To Qin Yu, this sort of situation was instead beneficial. After this incident, the other 4 great holy lands would most likely take measures against the infinite demon sea. The infinite demons sea would also feel more threatened, and the selection of the 10,000 demon king would not stop because of this. If he could get the infinite demons sea to act with him, Qin Yu would have a much greater chance of success. As for the Narcissus Holy Land, Qin Yu not only wanted to save his mother, but also to completely destroy it. Firstly, the Narcissus Holy Land had imprisoned his mother for more than a decade. Secondly, only when the Narcissus Holy Land was completely destroyed, he would have no more worries in the future. The Heavenly Dragon Continent was destined to be a small springboard for Qin Yu. Once this matter was settled, he would leave the continent to search for dragon blood and dragon qi. Only then could Qin Yu speed up the pace of returning to the peak of his cultivation in his previous life. Only then could he take revenge on Xing Luo, who had betrayed him in his previous life, and the 12 ancient emperors who had joined forces to besiege him. Qin Yu had always been an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. He had to personally take revenge for the blood feud in his previous life. Therefore, before he left, the Narcissus Holy Land had to be eliminated no matter what. His goal of destroying the human tribe's holy land was definitely in line with the infinite demon sea's interests. All the demon sages returned to the infinite demon sea. In order to prevent the 5 great sacred lands from attacking, the matter of entering the king of myriad demons' tomb was temporarily put aside. While guarding against the 5 great sacred lands, the various demon tribes in the infinite demons sea also carried out a thorough investigation of their own people. This was to prevent the blazing flame celestial Qilin tribe from being infiltrated by the human tribe. The 5 great sacred lands had yet to take revenge, but the 5 great sacred lands had indeed become closer to each other. After a thorough investigation of the infinite demon sea, they did not discover any human infiltration. Finally, after 5 days, the king of myriad demons' tomb opened again. In these 5 days, Qin Yu's cultivation had improved, and there were signs of him breaking through to the martial ancestor realm. This time, the demon sages did not enter the king of myriad demons' tomb together. Instead, they entered in batches. Batches of demon sages entered, and batches of demon sages exited. As expected, demon sages recognized by the king of myriad demons' divine spirit were very rare, and their cultivation levels varied. It seemed to be related to one's aptitude. After half a day, it was finally Qin Yu's turn to enter. When Qin Yu entered the king of myriad demons' tomb, he suddenly sensed something and turned his head to look. He saw that among the heavenly eye-spirit fox tribe members who had entered the ancient tomb with him, a charming woman with snow-white skin sized him up without batting an eyelid. Seeing Qin Yu looking at her, the lady immediately looked away. Nine-tailed snow fox. After Qin Yu looked at the charming lady, a strange look flashed across his eyes. Although the lady hid it well, Qin Yu still saw through it. The lady's true form was not that of the heavenly eye-spirit fox tribe, but a nine-tailed snow fox. However, obtaining the chi of the ancestor dragon was more important, so Qin Yu did not meddle. Whoosh! He entered the opening of the crack again. This time around, Qin Yu was pulled by a burst of energy into a large palace hall. There was an extremely ancient altar in the center of the hall. On the altar was a statue of a sky-reaching godly ape with 3 heads and 6 arms. He could vaguely sense the presence of a wisp of soul energy from the statue, as well as the ripples of the heavens and earth. As he had sensed, the sky-reaching godly ape's cultivation had reached the martial god realm. Around Qin Yu, the Xian turtle tribe and Wu Sheng of the heaven-eyed spirit fox tribe were teleported separately. There was no one around, which was exactly what Qin Yu was hoping for. Qin Yu swiftly left the hall after executing the secret art of perception. Outside the hall was a huge palace with intertwining paths like a maze. Qin Yu quickly headed toward the chi of the ancestor dragon with the help of the secret art of perception. Finally, after passing through a few hundred paths, Qin Yu arrived in front of a stone hall. The stone hall was gray-white in color and looked ancient. It did not fit in with the surrounding halls. The chi of the ancestor dragon that Qin Yu had sensed was inside the stone hall. However, did someone beat me to it? Seeing the forbidding aura inside the stone hall that had been triggered, Qin Yu was startled as he approached the stone hall. "It's you." When the door of the stone hall was pushed open, a glamorous figure appeared before Qin Yu. The person was none other than the nine-tailed snow fox woman who had been secretly observing him when he entered the hall. "You're indeed here for the chi of the ancestor dragon." The nine-tailed snow fox woman wore a smile on her seductive face when she saw Qin Yu. She tossed the jade box in her hand into the air. Inside the jade box, there was a golden dragon horn seal. An extremely faint aura of the ancestral dragon quietly seeped out from it. Chapter 162. Why are you looking for me? Qin Yu looked at the lady with glittering eyes. She knew that his target was the ancestral dragon Shi and was able to find it in advance. This meant that the nine-tailed snow fox lady knew a lot about the 1,000 Goblin King's tomb. However, she did not leave after getting the ancestral dragon Shi and even waited for him. It was obvious that she was plotting something against him. "I like to deal with smart people. I heard that you refined 10 Thunder Calamity pills for the Xian turtle tribe in order to enter the 1,000 Goblin King's tomb, right?" The nine-tailed snow fox lady smiled. "So, it seemed that what he did at the Xian turtle tribe had been exposed. Then it's easy. I'll make a deal. I'll use the ancestral dragon Qi." The smile on the nine-tailed snow fox lady's face grew wider. To be able to refine 10 Thunder Calamity pills consecutively, her alchemy skills were even better than an alchemy grandmaster. "You want the Thunder Calamity pill too?" Qin Yu asked. "No, I want you to refine the 9 transformation blood spirit pill. I've already prepared the ingredients." The nine-tailed snow fox lady shook her head. 9 transformation blood spirit pill? Qin Yu raised his eyebrows. The 9 transformation blood spirit pill could awaken the bloodline of the goblin race to the extreme and even break the limit. For example, the reason why the nine-tailed snow fox lady was able to sneak into the sky spirit fox tribe. Because her bloodline ancestor was also a nine-tailed fairy fox. Her bloodline was even purer and nobler than that of the sky spirit fox tribe. However, the 9 transformation blood spirit pill was a true sacred grade pill. Only a pill saint could refine it. A pill saint did not refer to an alchemy grandmaster who had reached the level of Wu Sheng. A pill grandmaster could refine pills that were useful to martial honorables, martial ancestors, and Wu Sheng. A pill saint was equivalent to a martial god. A pill saint or even a martial ancestor would treat them with respect. Even in the heavenly region, an alchemy grandmaster who had reached the level of a pill saint was definitely a famous person. More importantly, there were no pill saints in the heavenly dragon continent. In other words, this nine-tailed snow fox woman was most likely not from the mainland. The 9 transformations blood spirit pill is said to be a sacred pill that even pill saints find difficult to refine. Aren't you afraid that I'll waste your spiritual materials? Thinking of this, Qin Yu asked, "That's your business. If you want the ancestral dragon Qi, you must successfully refine the 9 transformation blood spirit pill for me. Otherwise, I think whether it is the Ice Dragon clan of the innumerable monsters sea or the great monsters with dragon blood in their bodies in the Hunter Martial realm, they will definitely be very interested in the Qi of the ancestor dragon. What do you think?" The nine-tailed snow fox woman looked at Qin Yu calmly. The 100 Martial Realm was one of the 7 great martial realms in the Huntian Imperial region. This nine-tailed snow fox woman was indeed from the 7 great martial worlds. I can help you refine the 9 transformation blood spear elixir, but my cultivation is still weak. You have to give me the ancestral dragon chi first. Qin Yu looked at the 9-tailed snow fox lady and said slowly, "No, wait until you refine the 9 transformation blood spirit elixir." Before the 9-tailed snow fox lady finished her words, a hazy, dreamy light flashed in Qin Yu's eyes. Seeing the dreamy light, the 9-tailed snow fox lady's eyes became absent-minded. Not good, but it was only for a moment before the 9-tailed snow fox lady came back to her senses. But in this instant, Qin Yu had already flashed and grabbed her neck with his right hand, while his left hand snatched the jade box that sealed the dragon horn. I forgot to tell you that I hate being threatened the most in my life. Looking at the 9-tailed snow fox lady's pitiful appearance, Qin Yu's eyes were sharp and indifferent. Majestic battle dragon True Yuan burst out from his palm. Whoosh! The 9-tailed snow fox lady's pupils shrank to the size of needles. A wisp of snow mist immediately escaped from her body. The 9-tailed snow fox lady in Qin Yu's hand immediately turned into a snow sculpture. 7 true dragon flashes. Qin Yu's eyes were sharp, and his dragon chi fluctuated. His figure flashed as fast as lightning and caught up to the 9-tailed snow fox lady, who had used a secret technique to escape. Whoosh! The 9 nether dragon spear appeared, and the killing aura swept over, as if it could slaughter all living things in the world. Power of heaven and earth. Wait, I didn't want to threaten you, nor did I want to reveal the chi of the ancestral dragon. Being swept by the killing aura, the lady's body turned cold, and she directly revealed her true form. A 9-tailed snow fox with 9 white tails and a strand of faint red hair between her eyebrows appeared. Just as the 9-tailed snow fox appeared, a snowstorm started in the stone hall. With a flash of white light, the 9-tailed snow fox disappeared into the vast expanse of white snow. Qin Yu wasn't moved at all, and the killing intent on his body became even more shocking. No matter how the 9-tailed snow fox hid, she was still in the stone hall. Since that was the case, didn't you want to deal with the water fairy sacred land? I can tell you a secret that will allow you to unify the 10,000 demonic seas. The 9-tailed snow fox felt a chill in her heart when she sensed the killing intent on Qin Yu's body. Looks like you're very clear about my matters. Qin Yu's eyes flashed as he poured his origin energy into the 9 nether dragon spear. Qin Yu wasn't surprised that the 9-tailed snow fox knew that he had a grudge with the water fairy sacred land. But the secret that could allow him to unify the 10,000 demonic seas made Qin Yu a little concerned. Not only me, but the entire 10,000 demonic seas knows that you want to deal with the water fairy sacred land. The 9-tailed snow fox's voice sounded out. Let's hear it. I hope that your so-called secret can save your life. Qin Yu flicked his wrist and stored the dragon horn jade box into the divine dragon seal. Since he had obtained the chi of the ancestral dragon, Qin Yu wasn't afraid that the news of the chi of the ancestral dragon would leak out. The reason why he tried to kill the 9-tailed snow fox was because she needed his help and even threatened him. I'll tell you this secret first. You have to help me refine the 9 revolution blood spiritual pellet. The 9-tailed snow fox was faintly discernible, but she was still obsessed with the 9 revolution blood spiritual pellet. Then we'll have to see if your secret is worth my help. Qin Yu said, do you know the 10,000 demon banner, a saint artifact forged by the previous king of 10,000 demons, the heaven-reaching divine ape? The 9-tailed snow fox appeared and turned back into the woman from before. However, she wasn't as calm as before and looked at Qin Yu in fear. Sacred artifact. Qin Yu had just arrived at the 10,000 demonic seas, so he naturally didn't know about the myriad demonic banner. But he didn't expect that the 10,000 demonic seas would have a sacred artifact. This was because the demonic beasts had always tempered their physical body and bloodline abilities. Therefore, their attainments in refining weren't high, and it was rare for demonic beasts to possess a spiritual artifact. When the Empyrean divine ape king fell, he said that anyone who obtained the recognition of the myriad demonic banner would become the myriad demonic king. However, hundreds of years have passed since the Empyrean divine ape king fell, but the myriad demonic banner has never appeared. This is also the reason why the myriad demonic king has never appeared in the 10,000 demonic sea. The nine-tailed snow fox revealed a core secret of the 10,000 demonic sea. You mean that you know where the myriad demonic banner is? Qin Yu's eyes lit up. That's right. However, I'm not sure if you can obtain the myriad demonic banner. Although you have the dragon blood and dragon chi in your body, you're not a half-demonic beast, right? The nine-tailed snow fox looked at Qin Yu with a glint in her eyes. Chapter 163. Superpower? Qin Yu noticed the flicker in the eyes of the nine-tailed snow fox lady. She was the first person in the 10,000 BC who could tell that he did not have the body of a beast. This is my natal superpower. See through illusions. The nine-tailed snow fox lady nodded her head. See through illusions. Qin Yu was surprised. This superpower could see through all illusions. Although it couldn't increase one's battle prowess, it could see through any illusions, formations, and even completely comprehend them. It could even see through other divine abilities. It was very extraordinary. All right, bring me to the 10,000 beast banner. I will help you refine the 9 transformation blood spirit pill. But after thinking for a while, Qin Yu looked at the nine-tailed snow fox lady and said, "Don't worry. I will not say a word about you not having the body of a half-beast and the chi of the ancestor dragon. My goal is to ask you to refine the 9 transformation blood spirit pill. There is no conflict of interest between us." Before Qin Yu finished his words, the nine-tailed snow fox lady's eyes lit up and she hurriedly said, "Lead the way." Qin Yu nodded his head. This lady was quite insightful. If he could obtain the 10,000 beast banner and control the combat strength of the 10,000 BC, it would be worth it for him to refine the pill. After leaving the stone room, Qin Yu was led by the nine-tailed snow fox lady to an ancient palace. There didn't seem to be anything special about the palace. However, after pushing open the door, a terrifying aura surged out. Ding, ding, ding. Although the nine-tailed snow fox lady was prepared for it, she was still forced to take a few steps back. However, Qin Yu only paused for a moment before he entered the palace without any hindrance. This scene surprised the nine-tailed snow fox lady. She felt that Qin Yu was not an ordinary human. The terrifying aura surging out was the aura of a true martial god. Qin Yu's cultivation was only at the peak of the martial, honorable realm. He had not even reached the martial ancestor realm, but he could ignore the aura of a martial god. Huff! As they stepped into the ancient palace, a gust of wind swept past them. Luminous pearls lit up in the originally dark palace, illuminating the main hall. At the center of the hall floated an ancient banner that was over 3 m long, and it fluttered lightly in the wind. The ancient banner was pale green in color, and there were countless faint shadows of beasts on it. The powerful spiritual might of a saint artifact was as heavy as a mountain. It seemed to have the power of 10,000 kilograms as it suppressed the surroundings. That was the 10,000 demon banner. Roar! When Qin Yu arrived before the 10,000 demon banner, an intimidating roar of a beast took place like a clap of thunder. A huge shadow emerged from the 10,000 demon banner. Its 1,000 goblin kings, Saint Spirit. The nine-tailed snow fox girl raised her head and looked at the majestic beast with 3 heads and 6 arms. Dragon blood? You're not from the sea of demons? The heaven-piercing divine ape's shadow still possessed intelligence, and it stared at Qin Yu with its fiery eyes. Can't I get the 10,000 demon banner if I'm not from the sea of demons? Qin Yu sized up the heaven-piercing divine ape's shadow. Since you're here, it must be fate. But if you want to get the 10,000 demon banner, you'll have to pass my test. As soon as the heaven-piercing divine ape's shadow finished speaking, the scene in front of Qin Yu changed drastically. At this moment, Qin Yu felt like he had arrived in a desolate world. A huge, heaven-piercing divine ape stood between heaven and earth, as if it could stand shoulder to shoulder with the heavens and earth. An incomparably vast oppressive might swept toward Qin Yu from all directions. It was an aura that went straight to the heart. Those who did not have a firm Tao heart and an unstable state of mind would immediately collapse under this pressure. You've been dead for so many years, but you're still able to leave behind an illusion of heaven and earth. Unfortunately, it's useless against me. Qin Yu looked at that enormous divine ape. His expression was as tranquil as an ancient well. Illusion of heaven and earth. The nine-tailed snow fox woman looked at Qin Yu, who was talking to himself, with a strange expression. How could there be an illusion here? Break! At this moment, Qin Yu opened his mouth again. Immediately, the desolate world disappeared, and the heaven-piercing divine ape also disappeared with the wind. Tao heart like stone, mind without ripples. The heaven-piercing divine ape's Holy Spirit appeared and looked at Qin Yu in shock. At such a young age, with such a cultivation level, he actually had such a mind. What kind of genius was this? If he had such a strong Tao heart when he was alive, he would not have suffered chi deviation. From today onwards, you're the king of the 10,000 Demon Sea. I hope you can protect the tribes of the 10,000 Demon Sea well. The heaven-piercing divine ape's Holy Spirit turned into a wisp of fire and entered the 10,000 demon banner. The heaven-piercing divine ape tribe, holding the 10,000 demon banner. Qin Yu sensed it and found that the beast souls in the 10,000 demon banner were the heaven-piercing divine ape's Holy Spirit. This caused Qin Yu to be somewhat astonished. He only understood it after refining the 10,000 demon banner. Back then, the heaven-piercing divine ape tribe had protected the heaven-piercing divine ape to break through to the martial ancestor realm. However, the heaven-piercing divine ape had suffered chi deviation and the laws of heaven and earth had been destroyed. Therefore, the heaven-piercing divine ape tribe, one of the 5 royal tribes of the 10,000 Demon Sea, had disappeared. Due to the obsession in its heart, the heaven-piercing divine ape had refined the beast souls of its tribe into the 10,000 demon banner. It had also sealed all the beast souls in the 10,000 demon banner with itself as the weapon spirit. Congratulations! With the 10,000 demon banner and the beast souls of the 10,000 demon king, you can control the entire 10,000 demon sea. Seeing this, the nine-tailed snow fox woman said to Qin Yu, I still have something to do. You can leave first. I'll refine the 9 transformation blood spirit pill for you after we get out. Qin Yu said as he put away the 10,000 demon banner. All right. The nine-tailed snow fox woman did not say anything and turn around to leave. Now that the ancestral dragon Qi had been taken away, she had lost her bargaining chip. She could only believe that Qin Yu would not go back on his word. As for revealing that Qin Yu was not a half-demon to threaten him, the nine-tailed snow fox woman immediately erased the thought from her mind the moment it appeared. Qin Yu had been so cold and merciless before. The scene of him killing her without saying anything made her shiver in fear. It's time to refine the ancestral dragon Qi. After the nine-tailed snow fox woman left, Qin Yu closed the door of the hall and took out the jade box. As a sovereign emperor in his previous life, Qin Yu knew very well that in this world, only the strong had the right to speak. Even if he had the 10,000 demon banner, if he was not strong enough, it would be difficult for him to suppress the saints of the 10,000 demon sea. Roar! The seal of the jade box was broken, and an ancient immortal aura immediately rushed into the sky. In the void, it turned into a blurry dragon shadow. Divine dragon, ancient seal. Immemorial battle dragon art. Qin Yu's eyes brightened. With a thought, the divine dragon ancient seal appeared and absorbed the dragon Qi. The immemorial battle dragon art circulated and immediately refined the dragon Qi into his body. While Qin Yu was refining the ancestral dragon Qi in the tomb of the 1,000 Demon King. On the mainland, at the center of the 5 continents, the Fun Yuan sacred ground, Today, the human sacred grounds had finally formed an alliance called the Demon Exterminating Alliance. However, there were only 3 sacred grounds that had formed an alliance: the Beast Spirit Sacred Ground, the Water Fairy Sacred Ground, and the Fun Yuan Sacred Ground. I think everyone has witnessed the strength of the infinite demon sea. That is not even their full strength, but it has already far surpassed the Beast Spirit Sacred Ground. If they were to give birth to the 1,000 Demon King and not fight among themselves, then in less than 100 years, even if the 5 sacred grounds of the human race joined forces, we would not be their match. In the spacious hall, there were only a dozen people sitting. The one who spoke was the Beast Spirit Sacred Grounds Master, Chui Yangji, who had a gloomy expression and strong killing intent in his eyes. The Beast Spirit's sacred ground had been destroyed by the saints of the infinite demon sea, and countless people had died. One could imagine the killing intent in Chui Yangji's heart. In order to promote this alliance and wash away their shame, the Beast Spirit's sacred ground had made a huge sacrifice. Chapter 164. Brother Chui, you are right. We cannot let the infinite demon sea be united. Otherwise, the human race will be in danger. The sacred lord of the Fun Yuan sacred ground, Yan Juedao, nodded slightly. It was because of this concern that he agreed to the alliance led by the Beast Spirit Holy Land. What a pity. If we could get the Sky Pillar Sacred Land and the Wind Lightning Sacred Land to join us, we wouldn't have to prepare so many measures to eliminate the 10,000 monster sea. Yanju Dao said regretfully, the Sky Pillar Holy Land and the Wind Thunder Holy Land are different from us. They are branches of the 100 Martial Realm. Their main purpose in the continent is to recruit talents. No matter how powerful the 10,000 BC is, it will not be able to threaten them. On the contrary, the competition between us 3 holy lands is greater than the competition between the 10,000 BC. Chui Yangji naturally knew that if the 5 holy lands joined forces, the situation would be much more advantageous to them. However, the Sky Pillar Sacred Land and the Wind Lightning Sacred Land didn't care about a bargaining chip that could move the Fun Yuan Sacred Land. Speaking of which, elderly, isn't it a little too little for the Water Fairy Sacred Ground to send out dozens of Wusheng? Yan Judao looked at the first elder of the Narcissus Holy Land. Please forgive me, Holy Masters. Our Holy Master is currently in seclusion. I really don't have the authority to mobilize Wusheng. However, my Water Fairy Holy Grounds goal is only that little bastard. We don't want any of the benefits from this battle. The first elder of the Narcissus Holy Land stood up and said respectfully. He was not on the same level as Chui Yang and Extreme Flame Invincible Blade. I remember that Brother Han has been in closed-door training for many years already. I wonder what kind of secret technique it is that requires you to train for such a long time. Yanju Dao asked calmly. The fact that the Water Fairy Holy Grounds Holy Master was in seclusion had always been a matter of great concern to them. Unfortunately, the spies they sent into the Water Fairy Sacred Ground were unable to enter the Sumeru realm. Therefore, they had no idea about the Water Fairy Holy Grounds Holy Lord situation. However, there was only one thought in their hearts. Martial God Realm. It was highly possible that the master of the Narcissus Sacred Land was trying his best to break through to the Martial God Realm. If that was the case, then the 2 holy lands would be in the greatest danger. Although I am currently in charge of the Holy Land, I am not very clear about the Holy Master. The Great Elder of the Water Fairy Holy Ground naturally wouldn't reveal the secret of the Water Fairy Holy Ground. Yanju Dao and Chui Yangji looked at each other, but didn't ask any further. As the peak experts of Wusheng, they knew very well how difficult it was to break through to the Martial God Realm. Over the past few hundred years, only the Myriad Goblin King had truly entered the Martial God Realm. However, there were also rumors that the Myriad Demon King was not from the demon clan of the continent. If that's the case, let's discuss the details of the plan. We must destroy the 10,000 BC in this operation. Chui Yangji said fiercely. Brother Chui, just in case, shouldn't you invite expert from the martial arts world to help you? After the discussion, Yin Zhu Dao suggested. There were only a few dozen wusheng in the water immortal Holy Land. This alliance was equivalent to the two Holy Lands going against the entire innumerable monster sea. Even if it was a meticulous plan, it was inevitable that there would be some uncertainties. Brother Yin, don't worry. I have already invited experts to help. You will know when the time comes. A sinister smile appeared on Chui Yangji's face. That's good. Yin Zhudao laughed. If this plan succeeded, the Fun Yuan sacred ground would benefit the most. The first elder of the water immortal Holy Land also laughed eerily. They did not care about the innumerable monster sea, but Qin, you must die. 100 countries battlefield, ghost demon cave. Woo woo woo. Bursts of ghostly howls rang out from the ghost demon cave. Whoosh! A faint purple light flashed, and a ball of faint purple ghost chi flew into the depths of the ghost demon cave, into the underground stalactite cave. This ball of faint purple ghost chi was the person who had escaped from the battle with Qin Yu in the spirit beast sacred ground. I originally wanted to wait until my cultivation had completely recovered before forming a ghost body, but now... The purple ghost chi surged and turned into a blurry figure, appearing in front of the two extraordinarily dressed skeletons. Bam bam! The figure sat cross-legged, and his hands faintly formed a mysterious hand seal. Two streaks of ghost chi touched the two skeletons. Immediately, the two skeletons surrounded by the chilling ghost chi and filled with the shocking cold ghost chi shattered. However, the bone powder was then covered by the ghost chi and gathered toward the figure. Kacha kacha! Not long after, the ghost chi on the figure's body surged. After the white bones absorbed the ghost chi, they formed white bones with faint purple ghost chi around them. As the white bones shook, they let out a crisp sound of collision, like crystal glass colliding with each other. A few hours later, a faint purple skeleton was formed. This time, I must kill you with my own hands. Purple light shot out from the eyes, and a bone-chilling voice came from the faint purple skeleton. Thousand Monster Sea, Tomb of the Thousand Monster King, Ancient Palace. Roar, roar, roar. Dragon roars that resounded through the soul continuously surged from Qin Yu's body. One could clearly see that the shadows of dragons, which were indistinguishable, surrounded Qin Yu's body. The scene was like 10,000 dragons worshipping him, and it was very similar to when the dragon soul used the origin dragon world. At that moment, half of the chi of the ancestor dragon had been refined by Qin Yu. As a result, Qin Yu's cultivation increased by leaps and bounds, and he reached the martial ancestor realm level 7. As his cultivation increased, Qin Yu's soul power was completely awakened. Correspondingly, the force of heaven and earth that Qin Yu had comprehended in his previous life appeared in his heart. For other martial ancestors, it was extremely difficult to comprehend the force of heaven and earth, and it required time and opportunity to have a breakthrough. However, Qin Yu only needed to pick it up again. This was the heaven-defying aspect of the soul reincarnation. In this life, he only needed to recover what he had comprehended in his previous life. Originally, Qin Yu's cultivation could have a great breakthrough. However, Qin Yu temporarily suppressed the advancement of his cultivation. With his current martial ancestor realm level 7, and with the help of the green dragon battling the heavens, 9 nether purgatory, universe-killing formation, and other means. Even if Wu Sheng was at the peak of the martial ancestor realm, Qin Yu was not afraid at all. In other words, Qin Yu was now completely capable of fighting the water fairy sacred ground. Therefore, Qin Yu sealed half of the dragon chi. The dragon soul must have shaken its foundation when it forcefully used the origin dragon world. This half of the ancestral dragon chi would be of great help to him. After all, the ancestral dragon chi was different from the other dragon clan chi. Although this ancestral dragon chi had been sealed for countless years and was not very pure. However, it would definitely be a great supplement to the dragon soul. With the current dragon chi, I should be able to cultivate the second secret skill of the battle dragon. Qin Yu changed his hand seal, and his 5 fingers were like dragon claws, facing up and down at his dantian. Strands of pure dragon chi and battle dragon true yuan converged. A dazzling pearl condensed in the claws, and it looked like 2 dragons playing with a pearl. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. As time passed, the dazzling pearl changed. Vaguely, a ferocious dragon head could be seen within the pearl, gradually transforming and condensing. Roar! Suddenly, a deafening dragon roar was heard. The ferocious dragon head directly devoured the pearl and appeared in Qin Yu's claws. A terrifying, devouring fluctuation was emitted from the ferocious dragon head. The dragon chi and battle dragon true origin in Qin Yu's body were continuously devoured by the ferocious dragon head. Condense. When the ferocious dragon head devoured the dragon chi and true origin to a certain extent, Qin Yu's eyes flickered and he let out a low roar. Immediately, the ferocious dragon head turned into a fist-sized dragon head ancient seal surrounded by mysterious dragon runes. Heaven-devouring dragon seal. Chapter 165. The sky-devouring dragon seal has succeeded. Qin Yu could not hide the joy on his face as he looked at the fist-sized dragon seal. The sky-devouring dragon seal was the second move of the 9 secret techniques of the ancient battle dragon art. The sky-devouring dragon seal was different from the azure dragon battle of the heavens. The azure dragon battle of the heavens directly increased the user's strength. The higher the cultivation, the stronger the increase. However, the sky-devouring dragon seal could devour everything. It could devour anything, including martial skills, superpowers, as long as it was a form of energy. Of course, the sky-devouring dragon seal's devouring ability was similar to the azure dragon battle of the heavens. If the limit was exceeded, the host would suffer a backlash. Return. With a thought, the sky-devouring dragon seal entered Qin Yu's dantian and turned into an inch-long mark. It's time to go to the water fairy sacred ground. Qin Yu sealed the half-strand of ancestral dragon energy into the dragon horn jade box and stood up. His gaze was as sharp as a sword. This time, he was going to destroy the water fairy sacred ground. Dong, dong, dong. After leaving the hall, Qin Yu had not gone far when he suddenly heard a loud noise. Whoosh! A streak of white light streaked across the distant sky at an extremely fast speed. Qin Yu squinted his eyes and looked. It was the 9-tailed snow fox girl. She was holding a spiritual herb and running away with a pale face. Behind a 9-tailed snow fox girl was a ferocious Wusheng serpent. The serpent destroyed many palaces as it chased after the 9-tailed snow fox girl. The serpent only stopped when the 9-tailed snow fox girl ran into the tomb of the myriad demon king. Qin Yu's expression changed slightly. It seemed like the 9-tailed snow fox girl had other motives for entering the tomb of the myriad demon king. Perhaps that spiritual herb was her true goal. He must have asked him to refine the 9 Revolutions blood spirit pill because he had received information about him. Without hesitation, Qin Yu's figure flashed and left the tomb of the myriad demon king. He's finally out at this aura? On the 10,000 demons sea, the Wusheng realms of the 5 royal families saw Qin Yu coming out and immediately prepared to arrange for the next batch of Wusheng to enter. However, suddenly, the high-level martial sages of the 5 great royal clans all looked at Qin Yu with bewilderment. They felt an extremely familiar aura fluctuation from Qin Yu's body. That seemed to be, seeing this, Qin Yu knew that they had sensed the energy waves of the 10,000 demon banner, so he immediately took it out. That is, the sacred artifact forged by the 1,000 Goblin King. 10,000 Goblin Banner. So, the 10,000 Fiend Banner is really in the 10,000 Fiend King's tomb. I always thought it was just a legend. He actually obtained the innumerable demons sea, then seeing the 10,000 demon banner fluttering in the wind, Wu Sheng of the demon clan present were all shocked. When they saw the 10,000 demon banner, Wu Sheng of the demon race thought the same thing. Those who were recognized by the 10,000 demon banner would become the king of the 10,000 fiend kings. In the past few hundred years, they had opened the 10,000 demon king's tomb countless times, but they had never seen the 10,000 demon banner. Therefore, they had always thought that the 10,000 demon banner was not in the 10,000 demon king's tomb, which was why they proposed to elect the king of the 10,000 fiend kings. But now, Qin Yu had actually obtained the 10,000 demon banner. Didn't that mean that they would have to respect a half-demon as the king of the 10,000 fiend kings? I remember that the king of the 10,000 fiend kings once said that those who obtained the 10,000 demon banner would become the king of the 10,000 fiend kings. Looking at the silent demon sages of the various races, Qin Yu broke the silence and spoke. Indeed, even after the incident in the Beast Spirit Sanctuary, he had still obtained the 10,000 demon banners recognition. It would not be easy for him to become the king of the various races in the 10,000 demon sea. The 10,000 demon banner was forged by the ape king of divine beings in the past. It is a true divine weapon, a steady voice sounded. An old man with an extraordinary aura walked out from the Ice Flood Dragon clan. He was the king of the Ice Dragon clan, Dragon Songyin, and Wu Sheng's peak cultivation. Whoosh! Whoosh! Qin Yu's heart moved, and the 10,000 demon banner fluttered in the wind. A vast spiritual aura spread out, and Wu Sheng of the demon race felt the pressure. It is indeed a divine weapon. Dragon Songyin and the others immediately sensed it. It seemed like this was the real 10,000 demon banner. Roar! Qin Yu looked at Dragon Songyin and the others. His true yuan vibrated, and the beast soul of the heaven-piercing divine ape appeared. King, seeing the saint soul of the heaven-piercing divine ape, Dragon Songyin and the other kings of the demon race were extremely excited. This is the ape king of divine apes? The other demon races Wu Sheng looked at the ape king of divine apes in shock and curiosity. Other than Dragon Songyin and the other demon sages of the older generation, only a few had seen the ape king of divine apes with their own eyes. Everyone, it has been a long time. The ape king of divine apes looked at Dragon Songyin and the others, but he only saw a few old faces. He could not help but sigh. Since they did not appear here, it meant that they had fallen. King. Hearing the voice of the ape king of divine apes, Dragon Songyin and the other demon sages of the older generation immediately knelt down and paid their respects. Their current cultivation base was inseparable from the guidance of the heavenly ape king back then. Because of this, even if the ape king of divine apes had disappeared, the 5 king demon races were still alive. My path has come to an end. From today onwards, he is the new myriad demon king. The ape king of divine apes regained his senses. He knew why Qin Yu had summoned him, so he spoke in a dignified manner. Welcome, new king. Dragon Songyin and the other demon sages of the older generation nodded their heads respectfully and paid their respects to Qin Yu. Welcome, new king. When they saw the king of demon race, they all knelt down and paid their respects to Qin Yu. The scene of thousands of demon sages bowing down was shocking. Seeing this, the ape king of divine apes nodded his head at Qin Yu and returned to the 10,000 demon banner. Rise. Qin Yu held the 10,000 demon banner in his hand and said. Dragon Songyin and the other demon sages of the older generation took the lead and stood up. However, they looked at Qin Yu with a slightly complicated expression. Presumably, in their hearts, there was still some resentment towards Qin Yu, who had a half-demon body, being the king. I think all of you should know that I have refined 10 Thunder Calamity pills for the Xian Turtle race, right? Noticing the expressions of the demon race sages, Qin Yu pondered for a moment and said. Hearing Qin Yu's words, Dragon Songyin and the other demon race kings could not help but look at each other. They naturally knew about this information. Could it be? As long as you can take out the spiritual herbs, I can refine 20 Thunder Calamity pills for each of your races. Qin Yu's next words confirmed Dragon Songyin and the others' guess. All the demon race were excited. 20 Thunder Calamity pills meant that each race would have 20 more demon transformation realm demon cultivators. This could be said to be great news for the demon race present. Other than the Thunder Calamity pills, I can also refine 10 Demon Sage pills for each of your races. Sweeping his gaze across the excited demon race, Qin Yu spoke again. Demon Sage pills? 10 more. Is this for real? If the Thunder Tribulation pill from before was only enough to excite the beast present, the words that Qin Yu said this time around had completely ignited all of the demon clansmen. Even Dragon Songyin and the other demon race kings could not hide their excitement. 10 demonic sage elixirs. That meant that the various tribes would have 10 more martial sages. At this moment, all the grudges in the hearts of the demon race disappeared without a trace. With such means, it seemed that it was not a bad thing to have Qin Yu as the new king. You should have guessed what I want to do. I want to completely destroy the water immortal's sacred ground. Qin Yu's eyes were majestic and sharp, and his cold voice was filled with the will of the 5 great demons. If we attack the water immortal's sacred ground, the other sacred grounds of the human race will not stand idly by. Dragon Songyin and the others were not surprised by Qin Yu's goal and only reminded him. If the other sacred grounds dare to interfere, then we will destroy them together. Qin Yu gives an arrogant smile. He is incomparably wild and tyrannical. A heaven-shaking dragon roar followed, and a peerless aura of invincibility rushed into the 9 heavens. In an instant, the sky changed color and the earth shook. Chapter 166. Thousand Monster Sea, Heaven Connecting Peak. This was where the heaven-connecting ape gods used to live. In the Thousand Monster Palace, which had been abandoned for hundreds of years, there were dozens of people gathered. Those who were qualified to enter the palace were either the kings of the various monster clans or the top Wusheng realm experts. On the main seat, Qin Yu, who had just become the Thousand Monster King, was listening to the various clans of the Thousand Monster Sea report their strength. Although the 5 sacred lands of the human clan did not have a harmonious relationship, but if they invaded any of the sacred lands, the other 4 sacred lands would help. Just like when they destroyed the beast spirit sacred lands, the other sacred lands sent experts to help. Therefore, although the various clans of the Thousand Monster Sea did not oppose Qin Yu's plan to attack the Water Fairy sacred lands, but before attacking the Water Fairy sacred lands, they had to make a detailed plan. At the very least, even if they did not succeed, they had to be able to retreat safely. Qin Yu did not have the worries of the various clans of the Thousand Monster Sea. With his current strength, he could attack the Water Fairy sacred lands and take his mother away. If he did not want to kill all the experts of the Water Fairy sacred lands, he did not need to borrow the strength of the various clans of the Thousand Monster Sea. After listening to the reports, Qin Yu had a clear understanding of the strength of the Thousand Monster Sea. There were only 5 people who were at the peak of the Martial Sage realm. 2 from the Ice Dragon clan, 1 from the Thunder Rock clan, 1 from the Blazing Flame Heavenly Qilin clan, and 1 from the Sky Ice Spirit Fox clan. There were more than 40 peak Wusheng realm experts of the 7th or 8th level. More than 20 of them came from the 4 royal clans. There were more than 90 peak Wusheng realm experts of the 5th or 6th level. There were more than 700 ordinary Wusheng realm experts. If all the Wusheng realm experts of the Monster Clan had been sent to the Beast Spirit Sacred Lands, the Beast Spirit Sacred Lands would have been removed from the continent. It was because of such a strong foundation that the 5 sacred lands of the human clan were unable to destroy the Thousand Monster Sea. After reporting the Wusheng realm experts of the various clans, Jiao Tsangyan brought up the information of the Water Fairy Sacred Lands. It was impossible for the infinite demon sea to not gather information about the 5 great sacred lands of the human clan. According to their information, the strongest person in the Water Immortal Holy Land was their holy master, Han Qianwang. Han Qianwang's cultivation was at the peak of the Wusheng realm more than 10 years ago. After more than 10 years, his cultivation must be even stronger. Other than Han Xianwang, the supreme elder of the Water Fairy Sacred Ground was also at the pinnacle of the Wushang realm. Below the two of them, there were 10 peak-level Wushang and more than 20 high-level Wushang. Wushang did not know the exact number, but he estimated that there would be no less than 200. From the looks of it, the innumerable demons Sea had an overwhelming advantage over the Water Fairy Sacred Ground. However, the Water Fairy Holy Land was only one of the 5 great holy lands of the human clan. If the 5 great holy lands were to join forces, the one at a disadvantage would be the 10,000 monster sea. Whoosh! After discussing the specifics of the plan, a gray light flew over. It was a small gray bird. Your Majesty, the latest secret report from the human race's sacred land. The little gray bird respectfully spat out a piece of black jade in front of Qin Yu's table. Wong Wong. Qin Yu flicked his finger, and a strand of true yuan entered the black jade. A piece of information floated in the air. The Beast Spirit Sacred Land, Fen Yuan Sacred Land, and Water Fairy Sacred Land are integrating the Wushang realm. They seem to have formed an alliance. Be careful. They can't hold back anymore. Zhao Congyin and the other saints were filled with killing intent when they saw the report. However, they were not surprised. After the Beast Spirit's Sacred Land incident, they knew that the human race's sacred land would definitely take action. This was why they did not hesitate when Qin Yu proposed to attack the Water Fairy Sacred Land. Luckily, the Sky Pillar Sacred Land and the Wind Lightning Sacred Land, which they were most wary of, did not intend to get involved. The human race dares to invade the 10,000 monster sea with the strength of the 3 great holy lands. This is a little unusual. Lei Balian, the king of the Thunder Rock race, had a thoughtful look in his sharp eyes. Humph. The human race's sacred land has always claimed to be the masters of the continent. They see us as livestock that can be slaughtered at any time. This time, we will let them know the consequences of angering the 10,000 monster sea. Lai Kuang-yun, the king of the Raging Flame Heavenly Qilin race, snorted coldly. The Raging Flame Heavenly Qilin race had been brooding over the fact that the Beast Spirit Sacred Land had used a soul-merging technique to infiltrate their race. Even after destroying the Beast Spirit Sacred Land, the fire in their hearts had not subsided. After all, the Beast Spirit Sacred Land had only paid the price of a few dozen ordinary Wushang. Their overall strength had not been shaken. This is indeed an opportunity. They will definitely not expect that we already have a new king. If we act in advance, we can completely catch them off guard. Jiao Tsong, Yin said slowly. Qin Yu's eyes flashed slightly as he pondered. The Beast Spirit Sacred Land and Water Fairy Sacred Land had the shadow of the 100 Martial Realm. The 3 sacred lands dared to invade the 10,000 monster sea. Could it be that the forces of the 100 Martial Realm had interfered? Since the specific plan has been discussed, we will attack the Water Fairy Sacred Land in 3 days. Everyone, go back first and settle down your clansmen. Also, this plan must be kept secret before the operation. After thinking for a while, Qin Yu said, even if the forces of the 100 Martial Realm interfered, the operation could not be cancelled. However, just in case, he had to make some preparations. This time, no matter what, the Water Fairy Sacred Land must be destroyed. Yes, the kings of the 10,000 monster sea responded and left in a flash. The 3 sacred lands of the human race formed the Demon Extermination Alliance and prepared to invade the 10,000 monster sea. Over at the 10,000 monster sea, Qin Yu commanded thousands of monsters to destroy the Water Fairy Sacred Land. In the southern border of the continent, outside the Star Continent, in the chaotic burial ground, there was a force that had been paying close attention to the human race's sacred land and the 10,000 monster sea. In other words, the Beast Spirit Sacred Land, Water Fairy Sacred Land, and Fun Yuan Sacred Land have joined forces to invade the 10,000 monster sea. Qin Tianfeng looked at the information in his hand, and his eyes lit up. In the chaotic burial ground, the flow of people was chaotic, but because of this, the news was very fast. As long as one could pay the price, they could find out a lot of secret information. The news should be true. A man from the Wushang sacred land with a scar on his face said respectfully to Qin Tianfeng. However, he had some doubts. He did not know why the patriarch, who usually did not meddle in other people's business, was so concerned about the battle between the human race's 5 sacred lands and the 10,000 monster sea. Inform all the Wushang sacred land to gather. Qin Tianfeng stood up and immediately ordered, "Gather? Where to?" The man from the Wushang sacred land with a scar was startled. "Kill!" Qin Tianfeng's voice was cold, and a violent killing intent exploded, causing the man from the Wushang sacred land to feel a chill in his heart. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Buzz! Buzz! Qin Province, Sky Corpse Canyon. The sound of a spell rang out, and a figure appeared from the dense corpse evil Qi. It was none other than Qin Yu. After flying to the sky, Qin Yu arrived at the water immortal holy land after 2 hours. Qin Yu looked at the water immortal holy land that was completely protected by numerous barriers and martial saints all over the place. Qin Yu took a step forward in the air. That is, almost at the same moment Qin Yu appeared, the dozens of Wushang realms patrolling the water fairy holy land immediately discovered Qin Yu. "It's him. How dare you come to my holy land alone?" After seeing that it was Qin Yu, the entire Narcissus sacred land was in an uproar. All the restrictions and barriers lit up, and figures with powerful auras flew into the sky, their killing intent surging. What a powerful pressure! Looking at Qin Yu, who was walking in the air with an indifferent expression on his face, Yi Zichen felt a chill run down his spine. The first elder of the water immortal holy land, who originally had a ferocious expression, was shocked. Qin Yu clearly came alone, but the feeling he gave them was as if thousands of soldiers and horses were pressing down on them. The kind of pressure that pressed down on their hearts made everyone's expression solemn, and they even felt a little uneasy. Chapter 167. After writing more than 300,000 chapters, the plot of Sky Martial Continent has reached its end. Let me say a few words that I have always wanted to say. I would look at the book review section almost every day, but all I see is that the updates are too slow. I do not deny this. 3 chapters a day is indeed not enough, but that is because I put most of my energy into the plot. Up till now, I do not think that I have written any sloppy plots. In fact, in order to plan the overall plot, I have deleted many of the plots that I have written. I will not talk about the previous ones. Starting from the 100 Countries battlefield, I originally wrote about the battle with the 2 spirits in Ghost Demon Cave, as well as the individual confrontation with the son of Qing State. There were more than 20 to 30 chapters, but they were all deleted in the end. When I first entered the Water Fairy Sacred Ground, I originally planned to have an outer sect martial gathering, where various geniuses would appear. I also wrote more than 10 chapters, where I entered the inner sect and went out to carry out various missions. I also deleted those chapters that were dragging the plot. And later, when I first came to the Thousand Goblins Sea, I could also write about the battles with various Goblin Clan's geniuses teleporting to the Beast Spirit Sacred Ground, fighting with the elders of the Beast Spirit Sacred Ground and the Thousand Goblin King's tomb. I could also write about training, and in order to become the Thousand Goblin King, I could fight with various Goblin Clan's kings. This is not because I do not know how to write sloppy plots. I wrote close to 3 million words in my previous book. I can also write sloppy plots. To be honest, in Xuanhua novels, battle plots are the easiest to write sloppy plots, and they're also the fastest to write. Just a few exchanges of blows, and 1 chapter is easily written. But in this book, other than the characters and plots that are foreshadowed, I basically did not write more than a few words. Every chapter that I wrote was edited and simplified. This is why many readers feel that I'm leveling up too quickly. If I really wanted to write all the sloppy plots by the time I reached the Water Fairy Sacred Ground, I would have to write at least 300 to 400 chapters. I said so much because in the book review section, other than a few friends who are sincerely discussing the plot and giving suggestions, the rest are all slow. I just want to say that I am not purposely keeping people in suspense, nor am I purposely writing slow. Simplifying the plot is very tiring. There are also some who not only ask me to update slowly, they do not even give me a recommendation vote, and even ridicule and insult me. Are you guys not embarrassed? After all, I have not received a single cent from writing till now. Lastly, if there are any more insults, I will directly delete the post and ban. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.